The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan. Spoilers, guys. If you haven't watched Star Wars Episode VIII, do not, I repeat, do not continue to listen to this episode that is based solely on Star Wars Episode VIII. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Shall we play a game?
Got this.
You've got several things to do. You've got work, kids in school. What do you do when it's all over?
How do you hand something from one player to another?
Dark soul light. Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the new plan.
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan, the video game / Star Wars podcast. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
I'm Joseph Vigolier. Caleb Craig.
And this is Cameron.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about Star Wars Episode VIII, The Last Jedi.
Is that because you didn't want to plan a video game episode?
This is a video game.
There's a whole video game series called Star Wars.
Right. So we're talking about the video
famous
games.
video game series Star Wars, and the movie's based on it.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't know the movies were based on the games? It's just like
You ever heard of that Super Star Wars?
yeah,
That they
Super
based
Star Wars.
directly
Oh, yeah.
the first movie?
It was
I
Star
remember,
Wars
I
and
remember
Star
lovingly
Wars.
being on Tatooine as Luke and platforming and shooting.
And Star Wars 64. It's all there.
There's a lot of people who think the first Star Wars is based on a book. They're idiots. The book was made from the screenplay. It was put out at the same time.
Oh, kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Sort of.
Did George Lucas write the book?
I think he actually did. I think.
Oh, well, then why is there a confusion? Or
Yeah,
like
but
George Lucas.
Some people think he made a book first.
If they've watched the prequels, they know
I
he's
kid
not
you
a
not,
writer.
Kyle Sanders believes this.
They know the man writes in a way that is not particularly good.
Oh, I listened to a book this week all about 70s filmmaking in the United States, and there was a huge section on George Lucas and his relationship with Francis Ford Coppola. And I guess George Lucas did not see himself as a writer, and Coppola said, "You have to write," and he made him basically pressured him into writing. So that's what THX 1138 came out of, and then American Graffiti. And then George Lucas decided he wanted to make a Disney movie. And so he started making Star Wars. It took him like a year and a half to write Star Wars, the first draft of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, just saying. There's a lot of truth in your statement.
Yeah. So before we get into that awesome spoiler-heavy conversation on this movie that we all have seen, 2 of us this morning, a couple of us throughout the week, what has everyone been playing this week?
I wanted to play a fish game from FF15. Couldn't get a hold of people.
I thought you
fast
hated the
enough.
fishing in 15.
We have to play it.
He just wanted. He wanted to get it over with. What if 15 replaces
Because-
the fishing and it makes you hop on VR?
We only have one more pre-recorded
dude.
UFF episode. So after that, we're supposed to do a review of Monsters of the Deep. And we have one VR headset that a listener lent us. And I did not have it. So I will have it this week. Hopefully I beat that game this week. I didn't have as rough a work week last week.
Wait, we have one more? Are you sure?
I have one. Oh, one more episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have 2.
We have one.
If we don't have 2, we're not reviewing this game next week.
No, I mean the week after next week.
Okay, so we have this week's, and then we have next week's, and then we have
Oh,
review.
wait, hold on.
I think there are 2.
No, we're not reviewing. Or
Because we have a Spirits Within,
We did Spirits Within.
and we have Advent Children.
We got Advent Children. That's it.
I think there's
Nope. There's not.
shit. Well, how are we going to review it then if we don't fucking have it?
If we don't have
if
a game
I don't
beaten?
have it, yeah.
That's a good question. Our other option.
Valid question.
That was a valid question for UFF. The other option is to do another commentary on Kingslave or say, hey, screw it, guys. It's Christmas. We're not putting out an episode.
The ultimate Final Fantasy podcast is atheist and doesn't believe in holidays.
Okay. No,
Or at
it
least-
doesn't believe in holidays?
Yeah.
That sounds a little bit less atheist and more Jehovah Witnessy or
Whatever.
new...
Whatever,
Whatever.
man. There's only 140,000 of us that are making it into heaven.
144,000.
No, the 4,000 are already picked, so the rest...
Oh, there's
rest-
already been 4,000
out of the
picked?
millions and
Okay.
millions of people that have been on this world, 4,000 have been chosen already. We still have 140 left.
Okay,
I
well,
want to be one of them.
yeah, we have UFF episodes we need to record
I also can't celebrate my birthday.
somehow. And that's, yeah.
That's going to be something. We'll figure something
It's
out.
going to be something.
We'll figure it out.
Hopefully
We'll
my
figure it
week
out.
is like last week. I don't know if it will be because my last 2 days have not been light days.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there was just a lull in the middle and then it's going to pick back up again. Still had to work 6 days, but at least it wasn't 13 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play games this week and I didn't. I also thought about putting in Fable 3.
And then you didn't?
Then I thought about watching James Bond.
Wow.
Because
You're
you
in
did
the
that.
shit era.
I got
Bond.
I got through Die Another Day, and then I watched Casino Royale this week, and I was like, oh, everything's better.
Damn, dude, you're like almost done.
Yeah.
He's only got 2 movies left.
Yeah. I'm into the rewatches, too, so they don't count on my 100.
They technically do, but we
Not
don't count
for
them.
me. My
We don't.
100.
We don't count them because it's just easier to not. Because I just look at my Rotten Tomatoes and I see what I've rated this year, and I don't re-rate movies usually unless I like look at it and I was like, oh,
I go through
wrong.
my Twitter hashtag,
Yeah.
and then I have to slowly add those to Rotten Tomatoes and then add those to my blog. Craig, what have you been playing?
I started Fractured But Whole yesterday. I played about 4 hours of it. And I played some Dragon Quest IV and some Battlefield 1. And that's it.
Sweet.
Yeah, been a slow week.
Slow
Yeah.
week? You just listed off like 6 games.
6 games? That was 3.
Oh, I heard 6.
Fractured But Whole is more than...
That's fractured butt
it's
and
like
hole.
4 games for you.
Then Dragon Quest, whatever. What's Dragon
right.
Quest?
4.
Hey, there's 4 right there. Then the other 2, Fractured But Whole and Battlefront or whatever. See, that's 6 games.
All right, then.
Cameron?
I played this like a little bit of Fortnite. I want to get better at that game. I'm just not as good as I need to be to continuously win. But I did play a lot of Overwatch this week. That was fun. And then yesterday, I finally got the game mode on my TV to look decent while actually playing game. And I played some Battlefield 1 yesterday, and it looked great. Played fantastic, had a lot of fun. And, oh yeah, Fable 3 arrived this week. Didn't put it in.
I thought you said it arrived last week.
Oh, did it arrive last week? Okay. They
Will
didn't
you
arrive
beat it
last
by
week.
next week?
So
So you've
that's
had
what I
an
wanted to talk
entire
about.
week to play it, and then you didn't?
No, I didn't. So that's what I want to talk to Joe about, because it's Fable 3 and then it's Fractured But Whole, right?
It's Fable 3 next week.
And are you
Fractured But
going to
Whole
play it?
is
Am I going to play it?
Yeah.
Maybe. Are you?
Yes. Because I decided that I'm going to beat it regardless of you beating it, just so you can't use that lame excuse again.
Damn it. But what if you don't beat it?
I'm going to beat it. It's
if you
Fable.
don't?
It's a Fable video game.
yeah. It
don't
takes like
beat it.
6 minutes.
Actually, the third one's supposed to be longer than the other 2.
I'll beat it.
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Well,
15 minutes.
I'll let you do what you want to do, Cameron.
So,
You can decide to beat it. You
but
can
this is
decide
another
not to.
thing. If Joe's not going to beat it, do we want to review Fractured But Whole first, or did we? Or
Well,
what are we
Fractured
gonna
But
do?
Whole is just you and I, or me and who? Is it me and Craig?
It's you and Cam, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just playing it along because I got it from Gamefly. So.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, should we switch the reviews around, play Fractured Butthole first, and then Fable 3, just because Joe's not going to beat it on time?
Well, now you're pressuring Schweiss.
Yeah.
I'm asking. This is
like a week. More hours
this is
than I
an
do.
actual question. Like, if Joe's not going to do it, do
I
we
know
want to
it's an
switch
actual
around?
question. It ended
switch
with a
around the
question mark.
reviews.
I don't know. I mean, maybe once we... How about we just play Fractured Butthole? And when
Fractured
we beat it-
Butthole
But
is
see,
like 20
there's-
hours. Do you
there's
think you could beat
Schweiss.
it this week?
There's
this
Considering-
week?
Yeah, that's...
It's either I play and beat
Well,
Fable
there you go,
3 or
Cam.
play and
There's
beat
your answer.
Just beat
Fractured
Fable
Butthole.
then.
Okay.
Because
So
I can't put 20 hours into a game in 1 week. What? Why did you turn my shit down? This is normal.
I didn't turn your
this is
stuff down.
normal distance for a mic. You don't,
Caleb.
You're not supposed to have it on
I
your
know
lips.
not everybody, but we all three do.
Well, then adjust me.
Just constantly turn the knob.
There.
Give you a little reach around adjustment.
I increased.
Okay. All right. Fine. You can do it that way. But
You guys
now,
just trying to
now
deep
you
throat
can't
shit.
do this.
That's fine.
Nor can I because it just popped when I did. So.
That's all I played.
Sorry, we're dealing with audio issues. I realize this is a nonsense conversation we're having.
So this week I played.
Do this. No, I have it at this.
Why'd you turn me down? What the fuck?
So this week I played all 3 of the Max Payne games.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet, by the way.
Just played?
Yeah, sure, just played.
I guess we'll find out.
Oh, and I also played
He's
a
only
little bit
beaten 2
of
of them.
Battlefield with Cameron on Sunday. So that was fun. Or
You didn't play any Battlefield with me, did you?
Oh, it was with
played
Craig.
with me, yeah.
that's right. It was Craig. So, now that we know what everyone has played this week, has anyone beaten a game?
It's right below you, Joe. And no.
No. No, Craig?
Yeah.
I have beaten 2 games this week. I beat Max Payne and Max Payne 2.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
A series very much worth your time if anyone was curious.
Which
The
pain?
first one is on the PS2 for PS4 thing.
Which pain was Max in your opinion?
I kind of like the second one a little bit more. The first one, like, his character changes a lot, and it's kind of weird. He's, like, more dark and brooding in
When
the
does it
second
become
one.
Mark Wahlberg?
He becomes Mark Wahlberg in the second one, I would
okay.
say.
All right.
And it's a pretty good story, and it only took me 6 hours to beat. The second game is really, really fucking short, and lots of slow-mo, lots of cool shit. And I love the way the story is told. It's like a comic book kind of thing, but it has voice acting over it. In the first game, it was just a comic book, no voice acting. So, I don't know. It's a pretty sweet series. If you guys have it on Steam or anything, you should totally play it. It's a lot of fun. And 3 is pretty cool, too, but it's Rockstar-ized, so it feels a little more... It's like got similar physics with the like dodging and the, Matrix shit, but it has... it feels more like a Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, just with those mechanics.
Yeah, pretty much is how it is. So, it's good, though. I'm enjoying the third one, and I'll have it beaten soon.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I
well,
owned him for 3 years, and I finally played him.
Craig is still ahead, and I just put the list away, but it's by quite a few still.
It's by 3.
But Schweiss is in second place, Cameron's in third place, and I am very, very far behind in fourth place.
Not that far behind Cam.
Can we
He's
just
forever
do our
behind.
Can we do our nominees for our next game right now before we delve straight into Star Wars?
Yeah.
If I think
We
of
probably
some.
ought to do a question, too.
A question or two.
Okay, let's do a question and then
And
we'll
then the
nominate.
noms, okay.
And then we'll just do Star Wars.
All right, let's dive in.
All right, so our question comes from Abrek. He says, are you guys ever going to enforce punishments? There needs to be
Nope.
some real consequences. Joe's punishment for trying to rig the vote was A, not having any input in the vote for the next group game, and B, watching season 1 of Digimon. Then he decided he's not playing the game, taking back the control he was supposed to lose by not voting, and not watching Digimon punishment completely avoided. Caleb and Cameron have to owe a couple dozen blog posts by now. Caleb was also supposed to dress up for some kind of photo shoot or something like that.
Suicide
Caleb
girl.
Craig is the only one among you with any honor. That's right.
Caleb hasn't completed his punishment either, though. 10-2 is not beaten.
I am working on it, though.
It doesn't
He's
matter.
actually working on it.
I might be working on the photo shoot.
No,
No, you're
I'm
not.
trying to get tits.
No,
That's
you're
why I'm
not.
off the diet.
You're
That's why I've been
really
taking these estrogen pills.
In all seriousness, I think the setting is interesting. Setting goals is interesting. Setting interesting goals and having funny punishments for failing them could be really fun aspect of the show, but it loses all meaning if you just decide not to do your punishment.
I'm not going to do that full thing at Digimon. I'm not going to do that full season. I'm going to go until I feel like a story arc has ended.
The story arc ends at the end of the season.
I'm going to feel like
There is
when it
there,
ends.
Let me tell you, Joe, there is no multiple arcs.
Wait, so the story arc of Digimon ends at the end, but the story arc of Shadow of War ends
There's
3/4 of the way through?
The difference is, Schweiss, that there's no multiple story arcs in Digimon. It is one singular thing.
That sounds...
Whereas Shadow of War has, let's see, like 50 things going on at once.
I think it's one...
So you could consider the first
overarching
mission
theme.
of Shadow of War to be done because, it's an ending to a story.
No.
Yeah, the Gondorian thing, once you get done with it, it's fucking done. That's
It's
the
a
end
plot,
of the story.
It's a subplot in the
No,
overarching
it's the fucking plot. According to you, Schweiss.
And the
According
overarching
to you,
plot. No, it's not. It's a subplot. You
It's
can
a
have...
story arc. It's a story arc that ended.
It is a story. I didn't say a story arc is when it ends. That's what
That's
Joe
what you
said.
just said.
No, that's what he said. He said when a story arc ends, he's done watching Digimon.
It's still a story arc.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that's the end.
oh my god, there's too many episodes of this goddamn thing.
There's 52.
There's 8. There's 54. Caleb,
Some of those might be movies.
I'm on the
pretty sure it's
fucking
only
Wikipedia
52.
page, and it has them split up in seasons.
Well, look, you'll get some hog.
Yeah, just watch 52 episodes.
4 points?
Yeah.
It's not worth that.
Just watch the 52 episodes of the original season. and
I
you're
think
good.
I think we need to retool that because when I watch a season of like
That's
Westworld, I
too-
feel like 4 points is too low.
That is too many.
It's not like I'm watching
a
Seinfeld.
season
and the
is a
fucking thing
lot
is just going
more of a
on.
time commitment than like a lot of other things.
Dude, I'm not gonna do 54 episodes. That's too many. That's just too
You
many.
agreed to the punishment, Joe. That's the thing.
I thought a season would be.
You didn't try to argue
10
it,
to
and you know
20.
what? You know what, Joe? I don't give a fuck because you know what I proposed? I proposed, you know what? I'll do Final Fantasy X as my punishment, considering I don't like Final Fantasy X. And then you were like, no, you know what? I don't think that's a
I
good
said
idea
you
because
should play
I don't
10-2.
think it's a bad
10-2
game.
is a shorter game.
No, you all said I don't think 10-2 is a bad game. Therefore, you shouldn't play that as your punishment. Therefore, you have to watch all 54 episodes of that first Digimon season.
You could just stop playing 10-2 to make a point.
I could, and you know what? I might
it's
because
too
you know
many
what?
goddamn
If we're not going to
There's
enforce
not
any
a person
punishments,
on Earth who does not think that is not too many episodes.
it doesn't fucking matter.
I haven't watched 54
It's-
episodes
it
of
is-
television this entire year.
It is a punishment that you agreed to, and if we don't enforce the punishments, then what the fuck? What's the point?
That is true. What is the point?
What is the point?
Yeah, and someone else brought up a point that we were supposed to be taking the power away from Joe because of he stacked the votes of a
He
game.
stacked the votes, and then he straight up decided he wasn't going to play Shadow of War.
So therefore, effectively, he took the power back. So take the power back. Gotta take the power back.
So 2 seasons,
Fucking play. I'm not gonna watch this goddamn show.
88 episodes,
No
or
one can-
108 episodes
No
of
one can
Digimon.
no one can make me watch this show.
I don't know about that.
Then no tribunal. It's just on
Just
now.
strap him to a chair.
That's what
You
that's
can-
what that means.
If you want to do that, then I guess there is a way.
Schweiss, go grab your belts.
Yeah. Hold him down, Craig. Sit on him.
just fucking beat him,
Craig, go get the jumper cables out of my car.
I'm gonna attach it to his nipples.
Yeah. Every time he falls asleep, we give him a little zap. Don't worry, it'll only take 3 days.
Which James Bond movie was it where like they strap him in that chair that has like no bottom and
It's,
they just like zap his
Casino
balls?
Royale, yeah.
Yeah, is that
Casino
Casino
Royale.
Royale? Gotta do that.
They played fucking tetherball with his balls. That's what they did.
Well, they zapped him too with the fucking car battery or the motorcycle battery or whatever it was.
You're thinking of a different movie.
I just
Am I?
remember the whip.
Yeah, they just.
And
They
he
just
said he has like an itch.
There's no whip.
I remember
It's
there being a
it's
battery.
rope with like a really like a heavy end to it.
Oh.
He just swings it under.
Oh, dude. Bond is sterile. Bond is
Maybe that's why
sterile.
he doesn't care about
He did-
sleeping around so much.
Yeah, he doesn't need condoms.
Yeah. Well, they
just-
are for
Maybe
losers.
he just doesn't have balls. The whole time he just never had balls.
They're just metal. They're just
Yeah,
metal
they-
balls. So
they
like people feel the heft, and they're like, God, these are heavy, but they're not real.
It's like
People just go heft his balls around all the
Yeah,
time.
they're like, God, Bond.
they're like egg-shaped bouncy balls.
Hey, why do I have to explain why I don't want to watch Digimon to people?
Cuz
Why
don't
is
you?
Because it's 54
Why don't you want to watch
episodes?
Because it's a
Digimon?
fucking kid show, okay?
What's wrong with that?
Have you watched the... No, wait. Yeah, you have that little kid running around here. You've watched kids shows, haven't you?
Look,
Do they
man,
not want to make you blow your fucking brains out?
I don't watch it. I just listen.
God, there's not a good... There's no such thing as a good
Hey,
kids show.
hey.
That's why
SpongeBob
there's
is a
kids
great
shows.
show.
Because all these failed writers have to go and write for kids' TV.
Samurai Jack got a fucking
An adult reboot.
what is it? The award for shows, the Emmy.
Samurai Jack?
Yeah.
Samurai Jack is sweet. That's
That's on
also
Cartoon
not
Network.
for children.
No, and the episode that won is
It was on
totally
Adult
not.
Swim, dude.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It was on
is.
Cartoon Network.
It's on Adult Swim now.
Well, it is now, yeah, because it got the
especially
adult.
season 5.
But yeah, it's great. Does it still have the one dude playing Aku?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not doing
That guy's
it.
old
I
as
got better
fuck.
things to do with my life than watch this goddamn show. I already have a problem with watching TV. It's not.
Well, you haven't watched the season of Thrones that's out, so yeah, you have a serious fucking problem. It's been out for months.
Yeah, it doesn't have a problem when it comes to watching movies, though.
Nope. I like movies more than TV.
But
And
TV,
playing video games, apparently, too.
TV,
I do
it's
have
not.
a problem playing video.
It's
games.
not just TV. It's Game of Thrones. It's more.
This is Digimon, Caleb.
I know, but
Where on my list do you think this ranks in terms of television that I will watch?
Should be number fucking 1 right now.
No. No.
I do think we need to start doing that again. But I think we need to retool it so that we can do it. I think we're going a little brutal.
This is way brutal.
It's something you agree to, though.
I think
if you
playing-
agree to the punishment, then you should fucking do it.
You know, you offered the 10 punishment. I offered a alternative that's much shorter.
No.
It
You
is.
know,
It
the
is
only-
a considerable.
the only
2 is
reason-
a considerably shorter
The
game.
only
than 10.
reason you didn't want me playing it is because you didn't think it was a bad
The
game.
most important thing in my life is my time.
And that's why it
54
needs to be,
episodes
that's
can go
why
to
it needs to
fucking
be
hell.
taken away.
I'm not.
You betrayed the vote, which is essentially the integrity of this show. That is what you did.
But we
and
also-
then you also
I took
denied
away-
playing the game that we chose.
One would say though that perhaps
I didn't vote for Shadow of War.
you
My
didn't,
hands were
Not
you
my-
didn't vote for it because
Yeah.
you couldn't.
not my Uber game or not my game based on another media. That's the hashtag for it. No, I think what Joe might have uncovered though is that the vote was rigged from the beginning. Maybe we needed this. Maybe he's the martyr of the voting.
Martyr?
Because the votes have been corrupt for so long on
It
the
doesn't
website.
matter though, Schweiss, because the votes before we already knew that they were corrupt, but it was corruption from the outside. This
We
is
don't know.
corruption from within. This is corruption from a host, from Joe specifically to serve his own goals,
I was just trying to stop another thing, not necessarily get
to serve your own goals,
thing
Joe.
in there. I'm not. It's just too much.
But now we have the
I look at
purity
this
of Twitter.
list of Digimon episodes and I want to cry.
Well, you
How
can,
long are they? Like 20 minutes?
Yeah,
Maybe
they're
the-
20 minutes.
maybe
They're gonna
the
be
court-
20-minute full episodes.
Maybe
yeah.
the court will be willing to hear an appeal by Joe, and then we'll judge it further then.
10 episodes.
No, we're not gonna debate this now. We have to have a formal appeal submitted by Joe, stated with the reason specifying why he deserves this appeal.
An appeal, and then the listeners decide what his punishment is.
Yes, throw him to the masses.
And they're just
Give him
gonna-
to the gardens.
Yeah, that's right.
Then don't be surprised when they tell you need to watch all of Digimon.
Well, then they can have 3 hosts for Nude Clan if this is that important to them. So, I don't.
What do the listeners say about it? What does everyone else say on the thread?
On the thread? Okay. Well,
Probably not that much on the thread. Or is there a bunch?
There's a bit. All right. So Abrek also responds to his thing saying, I know Joe didn't know what he was getting into with the number of episodes of Digimon, but he should at least have to watch a normal season of episodes. I would argue for 22 to 24
on
episodes, but even 12 would be something. Corey Bonsack says at least
like
start
12.
Digimon. Dylan says, I think the goals are a necessary aspect of the podcast in the first place, and I don't understand why it's included on Nude. Instead, a separate podcast. Like the Scrapped Getting Fat. It is a video game podcast. Sometimes I feel the goals and the personal stuff gets in the way of that. For example, the Persona 5 review was cut way too short and was definitely not given the time needed for Caleb and Cameron to thoroughly review it because of tangents, unrelated complaining, and the personal stuff that kept coming up throughout the episode. Honestly, I think the review felt rushed, and I don't think that they did the game justice. I think the video game aspect of the show has suffered in quality because of this, especially recently. Just an observation either way. I'll continue to listen and support the show. Alistair
Dylan, I think
says,
you're
watching
responding to the
season
wrong
1 of
post.
Digimon isn't a punishment. What the fuck? Abrek responds to him saying, I'm pretty confident Joe is going to hate it. Watched it last year, and even with lots of blinding childhood nostalgia, it was a struggle to get through at times.
Remember, I have no nostalgia for this game and hated it as a kid.
Yeah.
So nostalgia's not going to save
Dylan brings
it.
up a good point. I think reviews, we should try to do what we used to do and have like no fat in reviews.
Well, we don't
we
have
still
fat
don't.
We
reviews.
do sometimes though. Like,
We go off
yeah.
topic, which is
I don't think Persona
generally
was
unrelated.
rushed.
no,
How
you
do you
guys
feel about
spent-
the Persona
You guys
review?
spent
'Cause
almost
that was
200
also-
hours.
That
total.
was also in the worst episode of the year because some people were offended that we didn't give their gem of a video game the proper ball sucking that they wanted.
Is that what it was?
That was a long review, too.
I don't know. Cam didn't talk a lot during that episode,
He
which is a
talked a
lot of
lot.
the complaints that I saw was that Cam didn't do.
I'm out of this one. I
Any
did
talking.
not. I hardly talked at all in that review.
I-
Except when you
same
started
thing,
your
yeah.
thing and I messed
And
with the
then
echo.
you did
But
like
that's
an
not the same.
hour-long complaining. That's what
I
happened.
didn't stop your review to do any complaining.
Yeah, you did. A little bit.
Schweiss, help me
At
out.
least that's what the listeners feel, is that you interrupted
I'm
and you
barely
caused
here.
it.
Wait, was there anything in that review that you
Tossed
did not
salad?
get to
What?
say because I was talking?
There was stuff we could have gone in more
Could
detail
have.
about.
Would you have?
Probably. But Cam also wasn't talking that much, so...
That's a lie.
Okay. Well,
Everyone else but
Oh,
me,
dude, me too. I didn't fucking bring it up.
I didn't talk at all about
Certain
Persona.
people,
I left for like 30 minutes during the review because I was having stomach problems.
you
that
know,
day.
in order to cover every aspect of that game,
Joe
the
was
review
not
by itself needs
here
2 hours without
for
any
checking it out.
introduction.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's that long of a game.
it's hard for me to say because I didn't play the game, so I have no idea what was covered. But I don't know if people want that to be if they really think that's the worst episode, that's fine.
It's also on a weird thread.
One episode has to be the worst.
Guys, this
The
is
worst
about my
episode is
punishment
the
for rigging the
E-
vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll watch 10 episodes of Digimon.
12.
12.
12 then.
But that's an
Oh, we got
unofficial. That is an unofficial.
This is the
get started on
tribunal.
it. This is not the tribunal.
Schweiss, do
This
you
is not a
concur with
formal.
12?
This is not a
Tribunal
formal
doesn't exist
appeal.
anymore, Joe. You basically corrupted it to the point where it doesn't exist.
I will do 12.
One night you're just going to wake up in your bed being held down by a bunch of blankets.
This isn't tribunal if you just basically say that you're not
and
going
we're
to
just
do your
going to fucking
punishment,
beat
and
the
then we're
shit
going
out of
to,
you with socks full of soap.
oranges doesn't leave bruises either.
I don't care about bruises.
Bag of oranges.
Bag of phalange oranges. Doesn't leave a bruise and lets them know who's boss.
Does leave citrus.
And then we get to have a snack after. So,
Well, I think some things should be changed around. I will watch 10 to 12 episodes of Digimon.
you will watch at least 12. There is no less than that.
Yeah,
That is a normal season of anime, is 12 episodes.
Damn, son. Why is it 54 episodes a season?
I don't know. I honestly have no
What is
idea.
wrong with these people?
Well, honestly,
Pokemon had a fucking shitload for its first season, too.
that's only like, what? If they're
First
20
few
minutes
seasons.
each, that's 3, so
Dun-dun.
18 hours of Digimon. That's not that bad. I mean, that's like 2
Christ.
regular seasons a show for most shows, I
Yeah,
would
but-
say. Except for maybe The Walking Dead, but nobody watches that.
What? Okay, what can I do?
Not really.
Nobody really watches that sober.
So there's got to be a way to watch Digimon and add entertainment value for listeners, because I don't want to do this for nothing.
Maybe just live stream
it.
Live stream your watching of the show.
Yeah, fuck it. We've live streamed Advent Children.
Like,
We
in
care.
fact, I can't
Or
think
at
of a
least
better way.
At least
Live
do like
stream it.
a commentary for your first, like a reaction commentary.
And I just
to each episode.
it's just a reaction live stream. We could watch every minuscule
It's just,
point of
and
pain.
now I'm gonna waste 20 minutes of my life today.
do it. Yeah, fucking do it.
God, dude. God damn it. All right. I'll figure something out.
You should take the Zoom and then watch a couple do live reactions.
Or just do a live stream of it just on Twitch.
Yeah, or do that. Fuck it. I don't think Twitch is going to care. I mean, I doubt whoever owns
damn
Digimon
it.
is.
I mean, if it is copyrighted material, we should probably don't put that on. Just your face and the sound of it in the background.
I think the sound is what's copyrighted, though, mostly.
Yeah.
So you have to like. You have
It's,
to have
it's
yourself.
what'll be flagged.
You have to have yourself a little louder than the sound at the very least, or else you're kind of fucked. But I think Advent Children, we had the sound coming into the microphone, like we had it on the TV, rather than pulling the sound through like the computer and the devices and shit like that. So I think you might be able to get away with doing that.
Just murder me.
And if it gets
twice.
flagged, we won't get banned instantly. It'll
Twice.
just mute it.
Just kill me. Yeah, I know you have a gun upstairs.
Ooh.
Let's just take care of this.
I think I'm gonna kill
I'm
you
never gonna
slowly.
hear the goddamn end of this thing. I'm gonna add more time of my life putting into Digimon than I ever wanted to. Part of the reason why I didn't want that fucking game to win is because I didn't want Digimon to come into my life whatsoever.
It's a great game. You turned it down for no reason, Joe.
I want to see some anime kid with shitty hair being toting around a fucking stupid mini T-Rex.
Yeah, but you'll play a game where a dude has fucking antlers for hair and a fucking veiny as fuck face.
I don't know.
You don't know how to respond to that
I
because there is no proper response because you're basically treating
I
two
know.
things that are childish as the same.
One is
teen.
teen.
Digimon is for children, and Final
true.
Fantasy X
I
is for
actually did
teenagers.
try to watch Digimon the other day with my roommate, and
It's hard.
It was a no-go.
Yeah.
Cameron's like, I'm gonna go masturbate and fall asleep now, and it's like 11 in the morning.
Don't touch my
Goes back
cock.
to bed.
I'm not touching your cock, Cameron. Nowhere near touching
Which
your
Digimon
cock.
were you trying to watch?
The very beginning.
So the first season?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is pretty hard.
What is that on?
Crunchyroll, was it? I think.
Does your roommate like anime a lot then? Because I know you said oh no, you did say he does.
He
huh?
quite enjoys it.
He looks like he does.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of does look like he
He likes
It's
anime.
weird to know people that do that, but he does look like that kind of person, I guess.
I guess
I've never met him.
if you look at him, he does kind of look like the person. He doesn't act like that person all the time. I mean, he still like spends every weekend out drinking and partying, but he does like it to watch his anime.
Then he fucks his body pillow.
He doesn't have a body pillow,
Oh,
thank
okay.
God.
All right.
Joe's gonna get a body
With
pillow.
that 2B on.
Let the weeb consume you.
Join me.
Together, you and your wife will reach new heights.
Waifu.
That's what he said.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't hear that. Sorry.
So, anyways, Tribunal needs to be.
Hey, thanks for the
taken
downer of a
seriously.
question, Craig. I appreciate that.
Oh, you should have done the other one.
Yeah. The other positive
No,
question?
the other not
Nude
positive
positive.
one. Just the one who smells the worst right now.
Oh.
That would have been a
That
good
one was one about showers and if you would.
I think that's a UFF question, is it?
no.
No, it's
That's
for
a new
nude.
plan.
God damn it.
Oh, yeah, I've got a great story for
Like
that
how
one,
we
too.
talk about things on UFF and then they ask questions for Nude Clan. And then
We could
UFF
probably
is like,
end that one on a better smelling note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see who smells the best next week.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Anyway, we got some games to nominate.
Nominee, nomina.
Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be doing a vote for, and it'll be on Twitter, by the way. So go to @UFF Podcast Twitter, and it'll be on there for you. It'll be between me and Craig,
Yep.
and I'm going to nominate the original Legend of Zelda.
And of course you are.
Again, I did this like the first month we had this show. Gonna play it on my DS where I have the save states, so I should be able to beat it. And the original Portal as well.
OG Portal, nice.
Yeah,
That's a good game. I
Yeah, I've
enjoyed
always
it.
wanted to play it. What are you nominating, Craig?
I am nominating Hellblade again because it was robbed last
And
time.
Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
Dude, you know what? If
Fuck off.
okay,
Do
so
not even give him that fucking idea.
you know what's funny? There is a Digimon Cyber Sleuth sequel coming out, but it's coming out next month, and our review is like at the end of next month. So,
Okay.
unfortunately, I would have done that though. I totally would have done it
Go
if it
to
was
hell.
within if it was
straight
within
to
our
hell.
time. But I guess the next one I'll pick is DuckTales Remaster.
DuckTales remaster.
It is pretty sweet. I'm like at the end of it.
It's supposed to be pretty brutal.
Yeah,
It's not that hard except for the last fight. I don't know why, but the spike in difficulty just fucking skyrocketed.
So you beat it already?
No, I'm at the last fight.
About to say, I think you're only doing games you already beat.
And yeah, Schweiss told me to
go
nominate
against
that
me.
one.
All right, so once again, these are the nominees, guys. Go on to UFF Podcast Twitter, Legend of Zelda, Portal, Hellblade, and DuckTales Remastered. And please go ahead and vote for Portal. Thank you. All right.
Vote for Portal.
Schweiss, since this is your episode, why don't you go ahead and introduce us to our topic?
Hi, I am Caleb Schweiss, and
Hi,
today
Schweiss.
Joseph Gillier.
we're going to be talking about Star Wars Episode VIII. Now, I wanted the guys to do a little bit of work before the podcast, and most of them failed me. And I wanted to know what everyone was going to, or what everyone thought the others would think of the movie after they themselves watched the movie.
That is not what you asked.
That is what I asked.
That is what he asked for.
Not
And then
so
I
many words,
asked,
but yeah,
I asked afterwards.
He asked me before what I thought I was going to think of the movie.
Yeah, because Joe,
And that's the only thing that I saw.
well, no, in the team chat, I sent it to all of us.
team chat.
But in yours, I wanted to know what you think you're going to think of it, because Joe mentioned it, or his thoughts before he even watched the movie. So let's set it down.
Well, just knowing you guys and how much you hate movies, and I keep on hearing hate for the movie, so I was like, okay, this is where I'm hoping that it'll be at.
So where do you think, Joe? Where do you think what do you think we're going to think of the movies, or this movie?
This
we
is
just
a really
watched?
broad question. It's mostly I would ask like where everybody's gonna rank it.
The sucky part is I already asked Cameron, but I have a voice recording of me predicting it before today, so I'm going to play that.
Sure. I believe that from worst to best, the person who hates the movie the most is Cameron. Person who hates the movie second most is Schweiss. And person who hates the movie third the most is Craig. If I'm looking at you three, that's what I would guess. I would guess Cameron hates it the absolute most. Schweiss is going to say that he likes it, but will talk about all the things he hates. Craig will agree with him, but liked the movie more than Schweiss. That's my guess. And these are really broad things to guess. Craig, how do you feel?
What do you mean?
I mean, the same fucking question, ridiculous, complicated question that Schweiss asked us to.
What do you think we think?
What
of
do
the
you
movie?
think we think of the movie?
I don't think it's ridiculous. I think we should know each other well enough to know what we will
It's
think.
broad. If it were something solid, like, oh, he's going to give it this many stars or whatever.
I probably agree with what you said.
Who is getting strong Return of the Jedi vibes while watching the last part
Hold on,
of it?
Cameron. You'd agree that you hate it less than they do?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I'm part of this other.
Just because, well, I feel like I know how much you like the movie, and we do have a message from Schweiss saying that it's better than Clones and it's better than Menace. But he didn't say that it was better than Sith. So,
Well, I just can't decide which one of those are the worst.
Are we going to put Rogue One in this ranking?
No, I think
I'm
everyone
not.
wants to leave it out.
Okay.
No, doesn't count. It's not an episode.
and
It's
then
not a
it,
real Star Wars movie.
and then it did have, and then like some of the humor that it had in it is exactly the type of humor that they had in like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and like Thor Ragnarok.
No,
So
you are
Cam has
leaps and bounds better than Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, okay, that's surprising.
Whoa.
That is
Hold
surprising
on.
because the humor was very
Hold
similar.
on. What does Cameron think that we'll all think?
I feel that Schweiss likes it a lot, but he's still going to rank other movies better than this one. I think Joe is just going to say, hey, I enjoyed it as a film, and he's going to struggle for a while trying to place it, but then eventually put it somewhere near the top middle of the pack. And then I think Caleb's going to hate on it and put it near the first or Star Wars Episodes 1, 2, and 3 in his ranking.
All right. Well, here's my voice message that I recorded. The fuck?
Any day now.
Oh, Jesus.
To send a voice clip of my predictions for Star Wars Episode VIII. I will be lukewarm, slightly negative towards it.
Spoilers.
Craig will fucking hate it. Cameron will probably love it. And Joe will like it. We shall see how...
Okay.
Am I going to play the rest of that clip?
He's
No,
just
it was
gonna
a
say
waste.
we shall see how yada yada.
Yeah.
We can
Okay.
understand what he's about
All
to
right.
say.
So, yeah, Cameron, I said, would probably like it. I don't think Craig will.
You said love it. Love's a strong word.
I think I overshot the love. And I know that I know I'm right about that. But
Oh man, the Space Leia was just great.
all right.
We'll get into it.
Okay. So
Well, let's get into
what's
it.
our ranking here? We go hate. We got to go hate, dislike, meh, like, love.
For what? Each of the Star
What
Wars
we feel?
movies?
For this one.
Wait, what? Okay, I'm confused now. What?
Okay. I get it.
I have exactly what my rankings are in my head already. I know
of
exactly
the movies.
I'm ranking all of the movies besides Rogue One. I have them ranked in my head.
Well, we're going to do that at the end, though. Rankings are always at the end.
Yeah.
I know, but I have it all now. I thought about a minute. I know exactly where I'm putting this.
I do, too.
Okay, who wants to give away what they actually feel about the movie first? Me and Craig actually kept it to kind of a...
I enjoyed the movie. I liked it more than I liked The Force Awakens.
I did not, and I don't really like The Force Awakens.
I think it was a better
Now.
movie than The Force Awakens.
The more I think about The Last Jedi, the more I dislike it. The more I think about Force Awakens, the more I think about Episode 4, and I'm happy.
So this one, there were certain moments in this movie that could be cut out and make it an extremely better film.
Yeah, like
Space
30
Leia,
minutes of time.
Space Leia.
All right, what do you guys think
and then
I liked
before
it.
we dive in?
I liked it. I did not think it was fantastic, though.
did you guys not get strong Return of the Jedi vibe? Where back
Cameron, I could see almost every scene and go,
I-
this is this movie. This is
Okay.
this movie.
Yeah,
The
it was
whole-
all the
that.
movie.
the whole
I did
end,
too.
the whole end thing with Snoke, Rey, and Kylo is the whole thing with Luke,
Yeah. Yeah.
Emperor
Oh, yeah.
Palpatine, and Vader. It's the same exact scene.
Well, there's that, and
Yeah.
then the fucking like they're going to the battering ram cannon, and
Battering ram cannon.
and they're like, the only way we could destroy this is through the throat, and of course they have to shoot something that's ridiculously small while flying directly at it.
Yeah.
So
It felt like all of the original movies. Like
It felt like
swirled
that
into
that
one.
whole planet was designed to make 4K HDR TVs look good with the red and the white sand. I think that was their idea with that.
Sure, yeah, it was to sell TVs.
What about you, Craig?
what do I think of it?
Yeah, overall.
Overall, I would put it below a below Force Awakens.
For me, the reason why I ranked it above Force Awakens is because it felt like there was more character progression than in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
The Rey actually had a struggle for the first time in her life.
Yeah, she actually lost to somebody. It was amazing.
Exactly.
It's a message of hate against women, but whatever.
What?
What?
That's what I'm just like I
Did
feel
you
like
read some stupid shit?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I think that the first movie is like look, we have a strong female lead, yay, even though she's trash and doesn't actually
There's no
build
progression.
strength. She's just strong. That's not a strong character. That's a strong person. That's like saying that the
I
mountain
feel
from
just
the
Rey
from Thrones
Rey
is
was
a strong
very
character. He's not.
unrelatable, very unrelatable in Force
But
Awakens.
Luke builds himself up and becomes strong where she's already strong. So I think
Yeah.
that was a throwaway. And in this movie, she does have actual failures. So it could be viewed as like, I don't know, I'm just being a dick. But
Okay.
I just feel that the character story wise was a lot better in Force.
Are we all
than in this
underwhelmed?
one.
yeah,
Yes.
very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all underwhelmed.
I would say very much underwhelmed. I don't know though. I mean, Star Wars isn't my favorite thing in the world, so I don't really care. And I figured Disney. I mean, Caleb and I talked when Disney bought it, and Caleb was like mortified that Disney now owned his favorite thing in the world.
I get it.
That is Star Wars, and I figured they were going to turn it into something eventually that I didn't like. But for me, what I found they turned it into was a Marvel movie, and that I was surprised
Yeah.
by. And then I sat back and I thought, I shouldn't be surprised.
It's a
by.
Marvel movie that doesn't look like a Marvel movie.
It's a comedy that has some action.
Really dislike the
I
whole
don't think
going
so.
to the casino thing. Like, hey, we're being chased, but let's quickly hop off the ship and go find someone else to come back to the ship and help us later. That
Benicio del Toro was my favorite thing about that entire movie.
he was a great part of it. I agree.
And I wish he was in it more.
Yeah.
Frankly, I hope he's in the third one.
He
Or-
was great.
or
I enjoyed his
Benicio.
character. He was the only saving grace to the whole casino escapade.
Yeah, I did kind of feel that was a throwaway.
Okay, who wants a full gambit? What you liked about it? Who wants to go first? Is basically what I'm asking.
Craig, you go.
Craig,
Blow
you
your
go
load.
first.
Me
Give
blow
us
your rage load.
Give us your good, your great, your bad, and your terrible about this new Star Wars.
God, this is hard because like it's still like internalizing.
Yeah, we did just see it a couple hours ago.
We literally did just see it. I don't know. The stuff that I liked about it was I did like the way that they were using the Force, the lightsaber battles, all the action was really. It was like a mix between the prequels action where they were trying to do all those weird flips and showing off the Force more, but they kept the intimacy of the fights like in the first movies.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did like that, but fucking, I have a lot of logical issues with this with this movie.
Okay. So the
For
only
instance-
thing you liked is the action. That's all I got from it.
Kind of. Well, I also like Luke.
There's not very much action in the movie. It's a comedy, and then it's got some fights.
I didn't
It's
laugh that much.
I don't think it's
how are you
funny,
guys-
but it's still a comedy.
comedy.
Dude, are you kidding me? The first half of the movie is just nothing but jokes.
Nothing but jokes?
Yes.
There
There's
is
nothing happens.
There is a lot
It
of
starts with a
humor.
joke. It starts with the fucking.
It does.
I can't hear
That was
you
uncomfortable.
thing.
That was
I know.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
It was.
Ooh, that was the Marvel movie move.
Yeah.
I don't think the rest of it was like joke
Dude.
after joke.
No, the rest of it wasn't joke
I
after joke,
really
but-
didn't like the humor.
The
in
little
this movie.
animals, that was Marvel
The porgs?
core. Yeah.
No,
They were-
okay. Let's not pretend that Star Wars doesn't have this thing of putting these adorable little characters.
They have
in their
comic
movies.
relief. Relief is the key word.
No,
in
no.
this.
Let's don't
It's
forget
comic
the Ewoks.
relief.
Let's not forget the Ewoks.
That's a
We're
different.
not
story.
forgetting about the Ewoks. Cameron.
They're not.
Star
comic
Wars has
relief,
this
they're
thing
just
where they
assholes.
put these little comic relief, cutesy little things in there to relate to the children. They've
Right.
done it from the beginning.
But they relieve.
Yeah,
there
not
was
from the
nothing
beginning.
To
That was the
relieve
third
because I
movie.
felt like nothing
Jawas.
happened.
Jawas.
Jawas aren't cute though.
Neither are fucking Ewoks.
All right.
They're horrifying. God. They're like homeless
kind-
people's teddy bears, man.
What else did you like? I would like to like some things in the movie because I don't think it's a bad movie personally. Schweiss does.
Other parts that I liked about it, I do feel like Rey had more of a character this time.
Yes, I agree.
The stuff with her parents,
Which is why I rank it
like
above Force Awakens.
Luke Mark Hamill had an excellent performance.
Which is unusual for Mark Hamill.
So
good job, Mark
you. Mark Hamill is great. I thought Leia was great. She's a much better leader than I kind of thought she was gonna be. Because in the first, or at least in 7, she didn't really do much like throughout the entire thing. And in this one, she seemed to be like the big leader that everybody needed and wanted. And respected, and I did like that. But that's really kind of it, to be honest.
But you liked it.
Overall, I would say, yeah, it's better than quite a few movies, but
Well, yeah, it's better than quite a few movies. Period.
But the problems I have with it are kind of like the Star Wars has this thing where like the enemies are very intimidating, and they have to be because like they represent the entirety of the Empire. Like that is why Vader was so intimidating, and why Palpatine was so kind of like weird and evil, and in this one you have some redheaded dude who's like a sniveling coward, and you get jokes with him at the very beginning of the movie, or it's just making fun of him. And then you have Kylo Ren, who doesn't look intimidating at all.
Hey, you're not afraid of
I'm not even
Driver?
talking. No, like Adam Driver by himself does not look intimidating. The outfit that he had looked kind of
He's still
retarded.
emo boy.
And then Snoke was the most underwhelming bad guy I have ever seen.
That's ever seen.
Dude, ever.
Most underwhelming bad guy ever seen.
Fucking
He's underwhelming.
I'll find something else that's more underwhelming.
No, dude.
Hold on.
Master Bison from Street Fighter was a much better bad guy than Snoke. Because fucking all he does is sit there and then just like is gloating.
Well, he
the
power
entire time.
gasms Rey for a little while too.
Yeah, he like
He like pounds that G spot, and she's just like, oh.
That's not what
Because
happened.
I think it's something. Okay, I must have dozed off while that was going on. I was pretty tired.
He's just, all he does is like use the force to like grip people. He doesn't use it to like really do anything else.
You know,
with
I've
it.
always wanted to see
He's-
like a really good guy or a really bad guy exclusively only use the Force, and then show you what the Force is capable of.
Yeah, and that's basically what this guy does, but all he does is grip people. He doesn't do the force choke thing like Vader did.
He could force throw
didn't-
people around just looking at a hologram of them.
Yeah, but Vader did that too. Vader choked somebody by looking at them through a
Through a
computer
video
But how
screen.
far away was Vader to his target at that point?
They were in another
Basically-
ship.
Yeah.
But they're next. The ships are next to each other, right?
I don't
Snoke
think so.
was light years away.
I don't know about that. But
Well, does it matter how far they are?
I don't think so. Luke was able
There's-
to project
there's
that
no
image
rule
of
for
himself from
Force
like
travels
light years
faster than
away.
light.
And that
so-
kills him, so...
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, and like he didn't really do anything that was intimidating. All he was gloating, and like especially from point of view of Episode 7, Snoke didn't live up to his hype, like at all. He just looked like some kind of Fallout 3 zombie that has force powers that was extremely underwhelming. Like it really didn't feel like he should be oppressing anybody. Like I don't know how he was the master of Ben Solo when Ben Solo easily destroyed him in that situation. Like he distracted him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill you," and then the lightsaber goes.
It bugs
off.
me not knowing more about him too.
Yeah,
Like,
he
they
just like came out of nowhere, is like a super villain.
bunch of mystery
has the
set up in that
Force.
first one, and they just
and
kill
then he
him off.
just
Yeah.
gets immediately destroyed.
I liked how he died, but I thought it was
Yeah,
like
the way he died
Yeah.
was sweet, and it was.
I
kind
wish
of-
it was at the end of the third movie.
Yeah, and in an awesome fight. Like it was, I don't know. It was. They set the same thing up for Phasma too, because they're like everyone's like Star Wars. They were making this big marketing thing. Like there were all these like things for Captain Phasma and shit like that, and everyone was talking it up. And
Yeah.
and then she just gets like knocked down into
She
this.
disappeared. You didn't actually see her die. She's still alive, confirmed.
What?
Still alive, confirmed. You didn't actually see her die.
That doesn't mean it's confirmed.
I saw her engulfed in flames.
This isn't
Saw her
Thrones.
fall down in her chrome armor into
Came Revenge of the Sith. It pans off as one of the Jedi's get gunned down because you didn't see her die. Does that mean she's still alive?
She's still alive.
all those Jedi's still alive.
Yep.
you didn't
The,
see it
the
happen.
order 66 was a lie.
all those younglings.
Someone's gonna write.
Yeah,
someone's
you
gonna write her
didn't-
back in,
they're all
just like
still
they
alive.
wrote, like they wrote back in Boba.
I told you guys already. That's just George Lucas being mad that people didn't, or that kids didn't like Ewoks and didn't like Jar Jar Binks.
So
Fucking kids, you wanna define me, huh?
It was Django or Boba in the snore.
Here, little
Dude,
Relax.
if they honestly bring her back, that would be fucking stupid.
No, she's coming back.
You want to fuck with me, kids?
She's coming back in black instead of chrome.
Yeah, it's gonna be burned chrome.
Yeah,
Uh,
tarnished.
yeah. What else did you not like, Greg?
Well, okay, so some of the logical stuff, the big fight that they had with the Red Guards in Snoke's thing, they had weapons that could block lightsabers and had like an energy stream that was like a lightsaber, and yet they were touching themselves with the fucking beams. Literally, they had the swords touching their arms, and like it's like, oh well, what the fuck is going on with that? Because it makes no goddamn sense. It's nonsensical. The one dude had a fucking sword that was made of lightsaber
Sense?
streams.
None.
Yeah, sense none. Because like he had a fucking like whip sword thing that had like energy pulses like a lightsaber going through it, and he wraps it around his fucking arm. He wraps it around his arm, and it doesn't do anything.
I
and
didn't
yet,
notice
the
that,
very
but-
same thing, he gets stabbed by a lightsaber, and it goes right through him like fucking butter.
What you might not realize is that it's probably not a lightsaber itself. If you look into the
doesn't
technology
matter
of a
what
lightsaber,
it is, Cam. It really doesn't.
it could just
because
be
it-
something that can repulse a lightsaber blade instead of actually being
Something that can
plasma
repulse
itself.
a lightsaber
Yeah,
blade should
magnets.
literally be able to fucking cut your arm off if you
No,
touch it.
Magnets.
It's not magnets. You fucking saw what it was. It was
Magnets.
electrical things that were flowing
And
through
so
it.
if you,
That's
if you
not
want
magnets.
to get into the science of what a lightsaber is and how they contain
it's fucking plasma.
right,
You can't
and what do
just-
they contain plasma? How do they contain plasma in?
Are you
a
saying that
lightsaber
lightning is made of magnets?
form? It's plasma, not lightning.
It's fucking energy.
What
Cam.
plasma is superheated gas.
Yes.
And how
I'm
do you
aware.
contain superheated gas?
It doesn't fucking matter, Cam.
All right, if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because he literally fucking wraps his arm with the same stuff that can block it, which is blocking it through being the same sort of thing, which means he should have fucking cut his own arm off.
But it doesn't mean that he has a plasma whip. It just means that whatever
It was a
makes
fucking sword, Cam. And
Either
he
the
wrapped
sword-
it around his arm. and then the other guy touches himself with it, and then another guy has two fucking axes that have the blade beams too, blocking lightsabers.
All I'm saying, the technology could have been something designed to block a lightsaber, but not be superheated plasma itself.
And also maybe explained because it has no sense whatsoever.
I mean, if we're gonna get into this
is technology that is coming out of the fucking video games.
Science fiction. This is sci-fi.
There is nothing
fiction.
in the Star Wars movies that says anything can block a lightsaber. Nothing. This is technology that is coming from the fucking video games.
It's the diamond of their world.
Hold on.
Nothing can scratch
Aren't
it.
there some things that fight some lightsabers in the third movie
Yeah.
that aren't lightsabers? Yeah, there totally are.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the third movie.
Obi-Wan Kenobi goes down onto the planet with Darth Grievous. General Grievous. And then there's these one dudes with like the sticks.
The fucking electrical sticks?
Yeah.
The things that they're basically using
fight,
now?
Does he fight with a lightsaber against those things, or does he fight with another stick? Is what I'm wondering.
He does grab one of the sticks, I think, if I remember right.
See, now we're suffering from not having watched the other movies recently.
Yeah, but it's still stupid. It's technology that isn't explained.
So anyways, I've read some stuff about people trying to explain what lightsabers are made of. Basically, it's superheated plasma contained in a magnet field. And the only thing that you could theoretically
literally
block
called
You
it a
know
laser
these things
sword.
don't exist, right?
The only
that they
thing,
don't
it's
work.
all
There's no way for
fantasy.
them to
It's all science
Okay.
fiction fantasy is all it is. But if you want to get the science of it, then all you would need something is to create a magnetic field that can repulse that magnetic field that contains the superheated plasma.
Not if it's not plasma. Luke called it a laser sword.
But then you come into how are they containing actual light into a blade?
Yeah, there's also the bullet drop that happens in the cannon shots, if you remember that. Anybody remember the fucking bullet drop of lasers? Because I sure do.
No, I don't think
Pretty sure
so.
that was just perspective.
Dude, there was bullet drop. It was weird looking.
The thing that I thought you were going to get mad about with the physics was
Is the Leia thing?
No, well, that's just stupid. But
That was pretty.
No, the dropping bombs, the depth charges of space. I thought that thing was really stupid. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
They just drop like a bunch of charges, and I'm like,
Magnets.
oh, I wonder if they're going to have like something on them. And I'm like, oh, wait, shit, they don't have anything on 'em.
Magnets. It's the way of the future.
Well, if something
They use
is
magnets for everything.
space, also, if you have something that's moving, it's just going to continually go at that speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'd have
So-
to like push it, and then that would assume
That's
that
what-
the ship below isn't moving.
I assume there was something that was pushing them through the drop sequence.
They were on the atmosphere. They were over the atmosphere of the planet below them.
Yeah, there was a planet below them too.
Oh, okay. If they were close enough, then yeah, it would.
Yeah, okay.
It would have some gravity.
I just like the B-52 bomb bay doors opening and the people on the racks. And
Yeah, it's like it's the Russian ships, you know. It's like cool looking, but actually kind of shitty, you know.
But I'm telling you, magnets is the way of the future.
Oh, okay. All right, Cameron, what did you think of this movie?
There was a lot of stuff that Caleb touched on that I agree. We didn't bash on the Leia fucking space flight.
It's not
How long-
really okay. The space flight isn't the thing that necessarily pisses me off as much as the fucking
She
door
is
that
not
she
flying.
goes through. That somehow has like
I was going to point that out. I was going to point that out.
everybody out as soon
I was
as
gonna
they
point that
fucking
out
open
next.
that goddamn
Anyways,
door.
she wasn't flying. She was floating through
Yeah,
space.
it's like, hey,
And
what are
she-
you doing? Close the
and
door.
she pulled herself towards the ship. Okay, Joe looked this up. How long can someone be outside in space without a spacesuit?
Some sources said 15 seconds. Some sources said 90 seconds.
It depends on if they
we'll
have
give her
a
the benefit
breath
of
in their
90
lungs or
seconds,
not.
right?
It does depend on whether or not they
give her
have
the benefit
air
of
in
doubt
their
of 90
lungs.
seconds, right? So we're just going to say the Force kept her alive in space.
No, the Force brought her to the ship. I don't think the Force kept her
No,
alive.
she pulled herself to the
She
ship.
pulled herself to the ship, yes. She opened her eyeballs and floated towards the ship.
Hey, what
And-
balls did she open?
And
Eyeball.
and then the whole bridge was blown out. They didn't seem
Said it
to.
were
They didn't
scrope
appear to be.
balls.
And let's remember, this is the bridge of the ship. There's no repressurizing chamber for her to get into to close the door.
It
to
is
pressurize and
ridiculous
open
that
the
we are
door.
talking about science in Star Wars.
in fantasy.
Which is
correct.
Which is famously very non-scientific.
Anyways, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Beyond the point.
Nope.
The
is the point.
The Luke astral projection fight was extremely underwhelming and not what I wanted it to be.
No, see, here's the thing with that.
I actually like the astral projection thing because he was trying to make it so that he didn't notice it was a projection.
Right.
Which is why he was dodging the lightsaber blade.
Yeah.
But what I did like was the Red Guard battle, because that was quite fun. I quite enjoyed the Red Guard battle.
Yeah, I liked everything.
It was
but the
cool,
slow-mo.
but it pissed me off at the
I
same
liked the
time.
very end. That was pretty sweet when he was like,
Just a half a second lightsaber blade.
that was great.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the Red Guard battle, because the Red Guard are supposed to be fucking legit, and they were. So, yes, enjoyed it. That's pretty much my 2 cents about the film.
All right, so the first thing that happened that told me I
I'll
wasn't
be the
going to like
positive
it.
one.
I had a moment.
I gave it a positive
I've
overall
told
review.
everybody except for maybe Cameron this. I was watching. So I got to the movie on time, which is surprising for me. Usually it's like last second. I'm like, fuck previews. I'm going to get there like 10 minutes after it says it starts, because I don't want to watch the same previews. Because with the Movie Pass, I watch a lot of movies, so I see a lot of the same shit come up, right? I go there and I sit down, and like the preview for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom comes up. The movie looks...
Not
I
that
kind of
great.
think it looks dumb.
Yeah.
They're like, should they be given the same rights as every other species of animal? And I'm like, this just sounds stupid. Like, where's the guy that's like, they're dinosaurs? No. They had their chance.
That's literally Jeff Goldblum.
No, but then at the end he's like, if we're not careful, they're going to rule after us. And I'm like, so does that mean he's
life
for
finds
it
a way.
or against it? And
Obviously, he wants to kill them.
I thought to myself, can't we just let things die? Like, can't we just let these series go?
You're selling it.
I'm like, can't we just leave it be? And then it's like, episode 8. And I'm like, oh, fuck, no, we can't.
It's really about
Like, this
man's
is the-
folly for money.
I'm like, this is the ninth. This is the 9th Star Wars movie I've seen, and it's hilarious that I thought that about like the 5th Jurassic Park movie. I was like, God, why can't we just leave things alone? Like, just give me a new movie, and then like
Give me a
seriously,
new dinosaur movie
yeah,
too.
or just
Doesn't have to be
anything.
Jurassic
And
World.
I literally thought about that for like 10 seconds, and I was like, oh, wait,
You didn't
shit.
think about that with Fast and Furious after the first movie?
I have only seen like 3 of those, so I just
There's
don't.
7 of them.
I just
and they're
ignore
going to make
them.
more.
You know what though? I've never seen a single one, but I have heard that they get better as they go along.
It doesn't fucking matter to me.
Okay,
It
all right.
should just end.
All right. fine.
So yeah, it started off with a weird moment where I was like, God, they should probably just stop making these things. Like, just give us new material. But then I looked around me and I was like, they're not going to give us new material with this many people here at fucking 9 a.m. or 8:50 a.m. on like a Thursday.
Well, yeah,
or
that's for
Friday.
Star Wars, not Jurassic Park, though.
No, I know. But Jurassic World was a massive fucking movie, though. Jurassic World made
I
a
didn't see it.
ton of money. So the movie starts out, as any Star Wars should, with the crawl. That was pretty exciting. And then it like instantly moves into this weird, uncomfortable joke scene with Domhnall Gleeson's character and like Poe Dameron, and he's like messing with them and like pretending that he can't hear him as they're like ready to blast him out of the sky. And then he's like, just kidding. And then like they do that, and I'm like, man, that felt really Marvel-esque. And to me,
it did feel wrong.
And
I
to
was like,
me-
this is not what I want.
I felt like a lot of the movie, I feel like it's a Marvel movie, and it hurts me to say that. And I mentioned that to Dwayne, and because I was like, he was like, how did you like it? And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything until you go see it. And then I asked him, and he said he loved it, and I was like, oh my God, of course you loved it. You fucking asshole. Of course you would love the movie. Like, just find it fascinating.
He does think that Force Awakens is the best Star Wars movie, and that made me want to throttle his
He's
neck.
insane, and he put episode 1. I think he put episode 1 at like number 3 or something. I
Menace?
know. Yes. Yes.
Oh my
Menace.
God.
He's wrong. He's
very wrong.
He is intentionally trying to piss me off. Is what he's trying to do. And then he was like, I was like, yeah, I figured you would like it because it's a Marvel movie. And he was like, well, there's some dark stuff in there. And I'm like, I was thinking about it at work, and I'm like, is there really though? Is this a dark movie at all? And I don't really think it is. I think there is some darkness when it comes to like a lot of people dying, but it's it's a war. It's not like we're expecting no one to die. Like, it's not like the original trilogy or the prequels never had casualties on the good guys' end. Like, they had more on the good guys than the bad guys' end. Maybe not more like quantity wise, but more oomph behind it, more characters that you cared about, more things that you liked being destroyed in front of you. So I don't think it was a very dark movie, and I was kind of surprised by that. I thought it was going to be very dark.
A lot of those deaths were characters that were introduced that movie.
Or last movie.
No, I don't think there was. Like, that's what I was thinking, because I was like, I should really have watched episode 7, and then Joe was like, no, dude, there's none of those characters were there.
I think the long-necked chick that Poe was saying that was, like, treasonous for a second, I think she was there, but she didn't do anything.
No.
And what happened to the
Laura
guy?
Dern was not in episode 7.
No, she wasn't.
I would remember if Laura Dern was in episode 7.
Yeah, the pink-haired chick.
Because I
she
would
was
have
not in
gone,
there.
oh, that's Laura Dern. Never did that in episode 7.
So another throwaway. She died in a pretty awesome way, though. I liked the going to light speed, because I've always thought
I was expecting Max von Sydow, and I never got him, because he was in the first scene of episode 7. I was like, when are we going to get Max von Sydow? Nope.
yeah.
So there are throwaway characters in that first one, played by huge actors.
Yeah, so I mean, overall though, I came out of the movie and I said I liked it. I've told people that I liked it, and if they like Star Wars, they should definitely go see it. And I still think that if you like Star Wars, you should obviously go see it. But I don't think it's a very good movie necessarily. I think the Space Leia scene was absolutely idiotic. Like, I was watching it and I was just like, I like rolled my eyes. I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Leia has the Force, but she's like Force sensitive.
No,
is
she
what I would
also
say.
has the Force.
But she's never used it, Craig.
Never
She's used
used
it
it.
to communicate with Luke twice, and that
That's
is
part of
it.
It's
It's
part
been
of telling
20
you that she
years
has the
between the
Force.
movies.
Being Force
She just
sensitive,
got fat. What does she get? Like more Force powers, the more weight
And then
you gain?
that light speed ramming.
What? He made her lose weight. George Lucas said, you lose weight or you're not Leia. And she got all mad.
Well, George Lucas also told her that nobody wears fucking underwear.
Yeah, because they don't.
in
Why would you wear
space.
underwear in space, Caleb? Think about it.
And that's
There's no
why
reason.
everybody could see her cooch in the in Return of the Jedi.
Can we?
No, only if you were there.
All the actors there with her could, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Anyways.
For steel bikini.
I wish I
For me, a plot hole is if light speed ramming was such a big thing, why isn't there more of it? Why isn't there ships just on autopilot fucking ramming ships?
Yeah.
Here's
some
what I think happened in the
demolition
writer's
ships.
room of this movie, which was apparently Rian Johnson's apartment. There was a moment where he's like, why haven't they done a kamikaze on these things? Now, the thing is, though, you don't do kamikaze lightly. That's like a big deal. So I'm not surprised that they chose like one specific moment in the series to do that. They weren't just like, fuck it, we're all gonna die like every like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on.
But you don't even need to do
Come on.
that. You could set these ships
How-
up on autopilot.
how
Apparently they
often-
couldn't.
Remote these ships
Tell-
into other fucking
how
ships.
often-
Apparently they couldn't.
Apparently they couldn't. There was a line said to cover that plot hole.
She said that somebody
in
had to
this
stay
movie.
behind to steer the ship, which means that they can't do that.
which means that they can't do it remotely.
Because the ship
There was
wasn't
a
set
li-
up to do
so
that.
I'm telling you,
I'm pretty sure there's a
You
way to
cannot
do it
gonna-
remotely.
You can think
not
it's stupid.
fucking build ships
Cameron.
to kamikaze.
Cameron.
That's
No,
fucking retarded.
What are you saying? Are you
X-Wings-
saying the Japanese don't make it?
Dude, X-wings are small ships
galaxy long ago.
that can do that. Why not just set up a small squadron of X-wings that their whole purpose is to fucking ram other ships at light
No one's
speed?
thought of it yet, I guess.
Because
How has no one thought of it?
No one in the whole universe who
the
knows.
X-wings are small enough that the only thing that they'd be able to take out would be
Is-
other X-wings.
Is fucking slice ships in half because of their speed? Yes, X-wings could do
They
that.
sliced
You're
a,
talking about
they
how
sliced
fast a ship is going.
Destroyer in half. Like,
An X-wing, if you
that
have
ship
3
was
or 4
fucking
X-wings,
massive, though.
yes, but if you have 3 or 4 X-wings targeting certain areas of the ship, you could fucking take it out
what would that do
immediately.
to shields, though? Would that just like that would probably
Ignore
just destroy
it because they're going past the speed of light. Apparently,
Yeah, the shield can't be.
I had about the least amount of problems. and
I thought
still
that
do with
part. I
scene.
thought that part was awesome.
I thought that
for
scene
the
was
movie,
great.
it fit. But if this is such an
That's what
in-game
we're talking
tactic,
about.
if that's such an in-game
Wait,
tactic,
whoa,
it would have been
Cameron,
used before.
Cameron, I'm telling telling you, how many times did U.S. pilots do kamikaze? It works. How often did we do it?
Well, they usually did kamikaze when they were already going down. They didn't just go kamikaze. You go kamikaze when you're damaged. I think is what the Japanese did.
Are you sure?
I think so. Maybe they might have done it intentionally because they got that sake in them and they just go nuts. But
Well, you could ask the same question, Cam, about why don't they just use the bombers more often? Because those bombers are effective
Now
enough
you're
that they could
assuming-
take out a dreadnought,
Because
which is
the
the
bombers
big
are
thing.
so slow, and that's why he had to
Are
fly
you
guns
assuming that
first.
there's an
That doesn't make
autopilot
any
that
fucking
allows
sense.
for light speed?
Yeah, it wouldn't be too hard to do that.
I don't know. I think that would be like a safety issue when you're building your ships.
Yeah,
you'd be
but
like,
if you're designing a
there
ship
has to be a person
to be
here
a battering ram
for light
Yeah,
speed.
but
if you're designing a ship as a battering ram, you're going to take away any safety precautions on that ship because no one's going to be on it.
If this is Trump's universe here, I mean,
Cam, you also have to realize that these are the
Regulations.
rebels and they don't have the resources to just build ships that no one is going to be on.
that is true.
But
Yeah,
that's
the
what I'm
rebels
talking
don't.
about. Get your smaller
And why the
ships
fuck would the
that are
Empire
light speed
do that when
capable.
they have the people to
yeah,
throw
I don't
away?
know. That would be a very specific circumstance in order to build that into your ship.
It just seems to me it's
I don't know.
It's such
love
an
it
underutilized
and get
tactic.
it. And well, now they have the tactic. Someone had to try it, right?
I don't know why she didn't do it immediately when they started shooting on the getaway ships.
And the second the ship turned around, everyone's
Tension.
like, "Oh God, she's gonna."
I
do
know
the
there was
thing."
tension, but like they literally
Which
lost
sets a precedent
all of their
for it.
people.
It took her
people
some
knows how
time
to
to
do
think
it.
about it, bruh. Okay. You don't make decisions very quickly now, do you?
They have like 12 people left, and that's supposed to be their fucking rebellion. Like that.
No one answered the call of the rebellion.
Yeah, nobody answered the fucking call. No,
Yeah,
next movie is going to be like 20 years later when all the children who have force sense are going to be able to fight back.
Yeah, why didn't they just get their biggest fucking ship to go to light speed through the fucking Death Star?
Yeah, that would have wrecked it.
It would have wrecked it. It's a game ending. It's a plot destroying plot device.
It's the giant griffins in Lord of the Rings. That's what this is.
Unless they had fucking
It's
gravity
jump on
wells
the
to pull
griffins,
ships. Okay.
throw the ring
There's
down,
another thing in
it's
Star
done.
Wars where going to light speed near a massive gravity object will pull things out of light speed, and I guess they could do the same thing around the Death Star because the Empire could create giant gravity wells to pull ships out of light speed. They could do it.
These are the type of nerd conversations I hate having.
Why?
Because he wants to
Because
get
it's
laid
not
at some
about
point.
the movie. It's about the toys. I don't know.
I think the science in the movie should be
Should at least
respected
make
by
sense
the movie.
in the movie.
I don't know if it needs to make sense.
I don't
in
think
our
that
world.
was a science thing.
No, I don't either, and I'm fine with that.
The only real problems I had with like because
Also, there are no rules unless they set up one specifically.
Well, the fucking red guard thing just pissed me off because it's like the lightsaber is supposed to be the most god tier weapon ever. It's basically why they have it set up to be that way because they're fucking Jedi. And then all of a sudden everybody has weapons that can block it. It just seems kind of dumb, and especially when you wrap your fucking arm around it and then nothing happens.
Yeah,
That seems because you wouldn't put something that has the welding coil stuff and you wouldn't wrap it around your arm even if you were protected. You wouldn't fucking do that.
yeah.
That would be fucking idiotic of you to do.
So I didn't like the Space Leia thing at all. I thought that was really stupid.
I
thought that was an interesting way to kill Leia off because I thought
I thought she was going to be dead after that.
I
I
did
thought
too.
this was-
This is a
And
good
I
way
already
to get
had
rid of Leia.
I had the movie spoiled and I was like, fuck, I didn't know Leia died when that thing happened.
I thought that Leia was going to die in this movie and Luke was going to die at the end of 9 and they were going to be done. Because I've always thought that the movies are, I think Luke Skywalker is like our tour guide through the universe. Now I say that assuming that Lucas wanted to make it this big thing, which he didn't in the beginning. It was just one movie. And any interview that you watch with him proves that absolutely true, because he says, I don't know if who Leia's going to be with in the end, if it's going to be Luke or if it's going to be Han. Who knows?
They definitely wrote one movie at a time.
They wrote one movie, and then it made a ton of money, and then they're like, we need to make more. And then
he did ask for sequel rights really early on into the thing. So
yeah,
he had some ideas of sequels.
He did, but that's only after he saw how much money
I don't think he ever had
it made.
a grand plan.
No, I don't either. And anyone that thinks he did,
after number 2,
anyone who thinks he did is delusional.
Yeah,
is delusional.
He totally didn't.
Just go back and watch interviews. Like, he seriously says that he didn't know who. Like, during production, he's like, I don't know who he's going to end up, or who she's going to end up with, her brother or this other guy. It's because it wasn't his brother yet, or it wasn't her brother. It's not her brother for the 5th movie.
That reminds me of something that also made me mad. It was the fucking Luke saying that it's time to destroy the Jedi. And at the very end of the movie, he's like, I won't be the last Jedi. Like, what the fuck?
And then it cuts to Rey.
Yeah, it cuts to Rey, but he's like, I need to destroy the Jedi. They need to end. That's his entire fucking spiel throughout the entire movie.
He changes his mind.
No, it's fucking stupid, because then he has the thing with Yoda, and Yoda's like, yeah, it's time. It's time for it to end. That's why he burns the tree. Yoda does that. Yoda agrees that it's time for the Jedi to end, and then all of a sudden he's like, I won't be the last Jedi.
I think Yoda's... I guess I would have to watch the movie again.
Yoda's cameo is
because
stupid.
Yoda was saying you can burn the books. It doesn't mean that the Jedi are
he
gonna
says
end.
that, but he also destroys the tree and whatever, and it's like, it's...
And I think his point was that there's still going to be Jedi whether or not you burn those books.
What the
because
whole
Rey
point of
has
that
it
was,
inside of her.
there's going to be balance to the Force regardless.
Yes, that's what basically what
the
he
whole
was saying.
point was, regardless of what you do and what you believe, there's always going to be balance to the Force, and that's the whole point.
So,
yeah, I thought the Yoda part was stupid. Bringing Yoda back, because Yoda hasn't really been back for a long time. And then he suddenly wields...
No, not really.
And then he wields
just one
lightning
movie.
to destroy the tree, and then Luke's like, oh no, you did it. And I was like, you were about to do it anyway. Like, that was a throwaway scene.
No, it was mostly because Yoda agreed with what he was saying.
And I think the thing that made me the most mad about the Leia space thing, other than it was absolutely ridiculous to watch, was the fact that they like put her and they're like, oh, she's in critical condition. I'm like, the bitch isn't going to die. If she was going to die, she would have died in space. So this whole plot of, oh, is Leia going to die is a giant waste of time, because obviously she's not going to die, because she lived through an explosion that was almost, sorry, I spit, that was almost from her patricytical
I just
son.
feel that whole space race between the Empire and the Rebels was just a huge time waster.
Yeah.
They were just trying to further another plot and have some story time with Finn. And the whole excuse for that was just this long, drug-out space race that could have actually just been ended much quicker than that.
Yeah, because the planet that they were trying to get to was in view, and they could have totally gone to that with a giant ship.
The whole mutiny, the whole fucking plot line with Finn and stuff together. That was just a waste of time. It was just a whole fucking waste of time. Leia comes in, stuns the guy. It was for nothing.
Yeah, that was like
that whole casino, the whole thing with them amounted to fucking shit.
And that was like 20 minutes of movie.
Yes, and it was a whole waste of time. The whole
although we could say that about a lot of Tarantino movies too, where it shows like side characters like with big development, and then they just get gunned down in a bar.
Yeah, and there's the whole character development
that's a waste of time too.
With Finn and Rosie. All of that side stuff was exactly that side stuff that amounted to zero at the end.
Yeah, nothing happened with it except for the Phasma death, which Cam believes isn't going to happen.
Back.
I think she has to. That's the lamest death of all time.
That's part of it. Like that's
what they do with the
thing.
cool spacesuit guy, though. They kill him in a stupid way.
That's what this entire movie has told me, is they can't make an intimidating bad guy anymore. Because Kylo Ren was intimidating for the first like few minutes that he made his entrance in Force Awakens, and then immediately became.
And then Fall Out Boy starts playing in the distance.
Basically, yeah. And then Snoke was intimidating, and then all of a sudden he's a pushover. And Phasma dies in the worst possible way and is really kind of beaten very, very easily.
I really didn't like the ending of this movie either.
Very ending?
I hated it, yeah. I
Or
think it's
like
bad.
the ending kid scene or before the kid scene?
I don't like the Luke ending.
Oh, you don't
Okay,
like it.
honestly, the Luke ending, I have mixed feelings about, because I do think that it was a beautiful ending, especially with the twin sons thing mirroring the start of his
the Luke
adventure.
ending.
I did think that was amazing.
That's episode 9.
Although I did get my
And-
on-screen Jedi porn with Luke just destroying everything with the Force, I still feel that it was good with what they did.
Yeah, well,
I want some Jedi fight porn. Come on, guys.
and there's like nothing in Star Wars that ever says that
Episode
like
3 is for
using
that.
a lot of the Force or using the Force or whatever is going to kill you. So
I just
him,
want to see
so
a
him
Jedi.
dying after doing the projection thing.
It's a high ground bullshit.
I just want to see an on-screen Jedi do some fucking Star Killer shit.
And I feel like, okay, before you say anything, I also feel like they try to set it up that way with Rey and Kylo being connected, and then she like shoots her blaster, and then he does this whole thing where he's like, like he's holding his chest like he just got shot, but he didn't really. You know what I mean? I feel like that kind of like has something to do with it, because like when he gets stabbed by the lightsaber, then he just like fucks off and dies.
But no, I thought the astral projection thing was really cool until he disappeared at the end. Until it killed him. I was like, okay, so...
I like how we're calling it astral projection when it was a Marvel movie that brought that to the table.
That's because this is a Marvel movie. So he projects himself to this area.
You know, actually, the Star Wars comic books are written by Marvel.
Yeah, and
So-
Disney owns Marvel and Disney owns Star Wars.
Yep.
That's why this is a fucking Marvel movie. That's how I felt the whole movie. So the reason why I hate that scene, though, is because he goes into this area... And there's all these blasters going off, and like it's this epic fight, and he's like brushing it off like nothing's happening, and he should have totally died from it, right? But then you find out, oh, he was projecting himself, and I was like, wow, that was really cool. And then he dies, and I'm like, wow, that was really stupid. He should have just gone there and died.
I think.
Yeah.
Waste of time.
All right, Joe,
All right,
speak.
can I speak?
Speak before you lose your mind.
Okay.
I was talking
Shut the-
first.
I
And
no.
then you-
He said he would wait, and then okay. Now it's now
You can go now, yes.
All right.
Go before somebody else interrupts
Return
you.
of the Jedi. Yoda just disappears. He decides that it's time, and he dies. So I'm wondering.
Well, he was also super fucking old and sick the entire time. Did you not watch the fucking movie, Joe?
fuck up, Caleb.
No, the point that you're trying to make is wrong already.
He wasn't sick.
Yes, he was.
Was Yoda sick?
He was lying in bed. He was tired more and more
think he
often.
was-
It showed that throughout
I
the
think-
entire
I
time Luke
think
was
he was
there.
tired
Did
of
he not?
life.
Cam?
Yoda died of old age.
I
He
think
died
he
of
was
old age,
tired.
yeah.
He died of
life.
old age.
That's not being sick.
He was tired the whole time, and he just fucking gave up.
And I think
that's the point.
Luke did the same thing. I think Luke just said, "I'm going to do this one thing,
And
and,
I
I'm
think
going to go."
that's what they were trying to
Exactly.
do with. I think that's what the whole goal was. Is
Luke
he's now the
is
master.
Luke is Yoda
Yeah.
in this movie,
Yeah.
and that is why it is like the original trilogy. That's the biggest reason why.
Yeah.
And Rey is Luke.
Because he was exhausted, but I mean, if he was going to die from what just happened, he would have just died right there. But instead, he got up on the thing, got into a elegant pose, and then decided to disappear.
Yeah.
He put on the ring.
He put on the ring, yes.
He went to the dark side in his heart and wanted to kill Kylo Ren.
No, it'd
Okay,
be
you know what?
getting on the ship.
Somebody did
Go
bring
to
that
the
up on
west.
our little comments thing. Is like, are you guys happy with Luke being ready to murder his nephew? Okay, so first of all, he
Okay.
wasn't ready to murder
You
his
didn't listen
nephew.
to the fucking movie.
Yeah, he turned
Yeah.
on his lightsaber, and then he's like, the dark thought only happened for a moment, and then it passed.
We all know Luke is not a pure Jedi.
No, did you watch episode
Yeah,
6?
he had pulls to the dark side before.
Oh, yeah. The whole of episode 6 is about him being dark. He's wearing black in the beginning of the movie.
Well, there's also the thing where he like goes inside the tree or whatever.
He
and then
goes in
like
the
fights
tree,
Darth
yeah.
Vader,
And
then
remember-
it reveals that it's him.
He is tempted into getting the lightsaber and striking down the Emperor out
Yeah.
of hate.
Yeah, and Luke is
That's out of
like the
hate.
worst Jedi because he's like mixed.
Yeah, so he's not a pure. He's not Qui-Gon Jinn, bro. Okay, he's got He's got some layers in there, so I can believe that. Yeah, he thought about it for a second. He thought about getting rid of this problem,
Yeah, and the movie shows that it wasn't.
and
like,
the movie shows that.
as much of a big deal as Kylo Ren thought it was, because
All right.
he woke up to this guy with like a huge sword above him.
I will be the person who, with Cameron, likes this movie.
Luke's all about changing his mind in this movie too.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't think it's one of the best Star Wars movies, but I think I had a good time watching the
Yeah,
movie.
I had a good time.
I am not a person who likes to logically tear down a movie, because otherwise every movie I like will be torn
to
down.
logically tear down a movie is
it's-
just a fun debate outside of the movie.
Logically tearing down a movie is a result of you not being into the movie 100% that you notice logical issues. So that's
Yeah.
a problem. Personally, I think that
That fight took me out of the movie.
I think that personally,
I really enjoyed that Red Guard fight.
I enjoyed the movie overall pretty well. I think the first half of the movie I had problems getting into. It was really clunky. It had too many side quests, it had too many subplots going on at the same
Yeah, it
time.
did.
Felt like we could have just stuck with Rey and maybe stuck with Finn and had them, come together at the end. I think when there was too many side plots, like with the Poe thing, and then that bogged the movie down, and so we weren't as emotionally connected with the main stories as we should have been. So a lot of things that happened in the second half of the movie, although great and awesome, were not necessarily earned because they weren't properly set up, in my filmic opinion. That's why the movie doesn't feel that satisfying, is because things were not emotionally set up. They worried about, setting up too much plot, too many subplots and characters, and just we
just needed to
strip it down and make it a little bit more simple. And I
cut
think
that
Force
Finn-
Awakens did that extremely well, and this one was boggy.
Yeah, this one had prequel level payoff.
It also,
setups.
the only rules that I cared about it breaking were film rules that it set up within its own universe before, and it broke this time. Number one, Star Wars does not have teasers that are disconnected from the main plot. The teaser at their very end came out of fucking nowhere. No one gives a shit about it, and if they wanted to do that, they could have put that at the they could have put that after the credits. Okay, there's no random scene at the end of Phantom Menace where where Anakin looks into a mirror and sees Vader there for a second and then it cuts, there's nothing some super disconnected sequel teasing thing. So that bugged me. At the very end I was like, ooh, that is not the right thing to end on.
Marvel.
That was a Marvel move. I was like, what the fuck was that? And the second filmic rule that it broke was that there's no flashbacks in Star Wars. And they all of a sudden decided that flashbacks were okay. You don't do that. You don't do that mid-movie. The narration thing, too. I thought there was a moment where Rey was just going to have narration. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And luckily, she would, turn out to be talking to Luke afterwards.
Yeah.
Because, there's no narration in Star Wars. What are you doing? But that was fine. The flashbacks in Star Wars
The multiple flashbacks in Star Wars
don't exist in
Yeah.
Star Wars. Star Wars doesn't mess with time. We have fucking 7 movies that don't do that. You don't have an 8th movie where we're we're going to mess with the rules and we're going to have flashbacks in it. So I'll be honest, that was my biggest problem with the movie. I kind of liked the movie. I enjoyed myself. I don't think it was as emotionally, I wasn't as pulled in as I was within Force Awakens, and I didn't leave the theater going, yeah, which I did with Force Awakens.
Yeah.
This one I was just kind of okay, at the end of the movie. And it was mostly because that fucking kid scene showed
Did you
up.
convince yourself that you liked it once you left, though? You were
No, I liked it in the middle of the movie.
Okay.
After things
Started happening.
I liked
I think
it.
the movie is about 30 minutes too long. Because there's a lot of stuff in there that's a complete waste of time.
I do think the Poe and Laura Dern subplot is not necessary, and they could have.
I mean, Poe's a cool
To that
character.
base and had all that action in another way.
Yeah, he's a cool character, but he had a decent amount of time in the first movie. I think we've had time with him. The one we haven't had time with are the villains.
I enjoyed my time with Finn
trilogy.
and with Rose. I enjoyed those characters, whether or not their plot was necessary.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that section of the thing. I loved Benicio del Toro. do think the Poe and Laura Dern thing, and also that Laura Dern twist thing, felt like the most forced thing in the movie. Like it felt like the thread of the movie that didn't work as well as the others.
Yeah, because I was like, why is he freaking out? Like, why are these people being assholes to each other? Like,
But overall, I had a good time. I loved the fighting. I loved the moments with Rey and Kylo Ren.
Yep.
Really
think
enjoyed
those were
that.
good.
I wish
They did
there was
that
a
really
little
well.
bit more Jedi training, but of course we had to have a different subplot taking up all that time. And I really liked the ending too, except for right after when the kid epilogue happens. I liked the ending.
I think they should have saved that ending for the ending of the 9th movie. Because I think Star Wars, once Luke Skywalker is dead, Star Wars is dead.
This is also
Well,
So
honestly-
it's over. It's over, and I refuse to watch Episode 9.
Okay, so as
I'm kidding.
as a Star Wars fan, I understand why a lot of people dislike the movie, because it's like the entirety of Star Wars has been set up to be like the Skywalker family, and I know that
and we're still following Kylo.
and I know Kylo is still in it, but to them,
And he still has good in him.
the
Oh,
people.
my ass.
The reason why everybody still loved 7, even though like Luke wasn't in it, was because Han Solo was there, Leia was there. There was that kind of thing going on. And with this, it's like the movie is basically trying to force you to accept that Star Wars is just going to change. And it's like, okay, well, Star Wars can change, and that's fine, but they're trying to drive the point home, like, with everything that they do in the movie, especially with like Kylo's big speech about how he wants to let everything burn, like all the old stuff burn, like the Jedi and the Sith and
this is a Kathleen Kennedy speech to Disney.
yeah, essentially, it's like
all right.
this everything needs to change so that we can make new things, and it's like, well, fine, you can make new things, but like let the thing die and be done before you like
They can't.
go and bring something new. Like, yeah, it takes risks. Yeah, I can do this, but like, why fucking force it? You don't have to force it. You can just start a new trilogy with something else. You can start a new thing. You don't have to just like be like, oh, well, fuck it all. Let's burn it down to the ground. Let's fuck what everybody loves about Star Wars instantly.
All these
and-
old characters were going to die anyway.
yeah, they were going to die anyway. Just let them die in a good way.
I thought Luke died in a good way. Whatever.
I don't necessarily like the random just death after the
No, well, he just
projection
became
thing,
one with
though.
the Force. He Obi-Wan. He's Obi-Wan.
I know
and
Obi-Wan did that, but Obi-Wan also totally would have died if he didn't do that. So he was just dead either way.
Well, yeah, he's not going to beat Vader when he's in his like 80s. He
Good.
would have kicked his ass before.
If he
Obviously.
got some high ground.
yeah, that's all it takes is a little bit of that high ground.
So notice we're still making fun of the old
You
ones.
sniff a little bit of that high ground, and you just go. Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending, not because I loved the two sons thing. Like that was awesome. I was like, yes. I was really into that until he disappeared, and then I was like, that made that. I felt like that just made the whole like, ooh, I'm not really here, psych. But yeah, you killed me anyway. I felt like it was just a giant waste of time.
If you struck me down, I'll become more powerful.
And he
than you can
almost said
imagine.
that. He almost said it.
He did almost
I was
say
ready
that.
for it.
I was too. I was actually kind of excited, but then then they didn't do it. But that's what happened to him, and then like I was like, oh, okay, that was really cool. He projected himself.
You know
and then
what,
he just
though?
dies, and I'm like, I don't like that.
It was kind of rough for me because like I knew what was going to happen because like I had it spoiled, and like so the moment where he was like talking to Leia like on that planet, and I was like, oh my god, I know what's going to happen. So that moment was actually really sad for me because I knew exactly what was about to happen.
Who spoiled it?
A child did in Walmart.
Did you punch him?
I did think
Punch him
about
in his
it.
little fuck face mouth. Just slap him and punch his mother. Fucking kid's a spoiler.
Dude, the Walmart, it was fucking busy, right? So it was like super packed, and then some kid was like misbehaving, and his mom was gonna take away something from him, so he like started yelling out and like what happens in Star Wars, and I was like, "Fuck you,
Should've
you
been
little
like-
bastard!"
You should have plugged years ago.
It was too late, dude.
You know the
First
funny
thing
thing?
he yelled was like,
Alistair,
"Luke
you're
dies."
wrong. You're absolutely wrong, Alistair. I'm sorry, but Luke totally is open for influence from the dark side. Totally is.
He's not
Has
immune.
been the entire series.
Yeah, he's not immune immune to
He's
it.
not immune
Why do you
to
think
it.
he cut himself
not
off
just-
from the Force?
Unless he went to the bathroom right at the point where he was like, I thought about it for a second, but didn't go through with it.
Kylo's reaction to him standing over him with the lightsaber is warranted, you're right, but that doesn't mean that Luke was immediately just ready to just murder him. And it wasn't because he had a slight amount of dark side. He said he felt a lot like the entirety of the darkness, and that Snoke had already changed his heart. That's what he said he felt. And that's why he thought for a moment.
Sorry, guys. We're talking to the Twitch.
We're talking to a Twitch
chat.
person, so it's like
in case someone's confused.
And you know what? Mark Hamill did famously disagree with the direction that it was going to go for Luke in this movie.
Dead.
What?
He probably didn't want to die.
He didn't mind the death as much. He just meant like a lot of the stuff in it, I guess.
I'm just saddened that we lose Luke and we just get Rey instead.
Yeah.
What a lame character.
I like her.
What do you like
knows
about
everything already. She does.
I think she's spunky, and she likes. She's
All
she's
the
very
personality of the
optimistic.
main cast comes from like Finn, Joe.
She's very.
everything she knows. She does.
She's very optimistic,
Books she does not need.
and she's really going for the good side, and I like that.
You know, and I like Kylo Ren in this movie a lot until he tried to kill everybody in the end again. And I'm like, it's like I'm watching Vikings. It's like I'm watching Ragnar's
apprentice
brother just
needs
like,
to
ha, I'm
kill
going
the
to fuck
Sith
you over
master.
a little. He's like, oh shit, I lost. All right, I'm your buddy again. And I'm like, ha, it's like Loki. And it's again where it becomes a Marvel movie. He's a Loki character. Where
Do we think Leia will die in the next movie? I don't think she's
Leia-
going to be in the next movie.
Leia should have died in this movie?
Leia will die in the next
They might
movie.
have a CGI
Through the
old
power
Leia
of CGI, she lives on.
sit in another medical capsule somehow, and
Honestly, I was convinced Leia was going to die in this movie.
I did too. I was like,
yeah.
oh, I guess they rewrote it.
I thought several times.
That's why we're
that-
getting old CGI Leia, because they couldn't get the real one. I honestly thought that, and then she turned up for later in the movie. I was like, oh, dang, she could have had a clean ending. Now we're gonna have some sort of like either the actress is gonna be replaced, or they're gonna do CGI Leia with a person. Like I'm really
Like that freaky shit and
in Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, it just hurts to look at.
Snoke was hard to look at.
Why don't they just have Andy Serkis in makeup? Why did they have to have a CGI
don't-
character?
I don't know.
He's man-sized. They could have just an actor, and they want Andy Serkis. Why not have Andy Serkis?
I feel like they're fucking getting rid of practical effects in Star Wars, which Star Wars has always done. And
I don't know.
I don't like it.
Episode 7 looked great though.
Episode
Yeah.
7 still had some practical effects.
The Stormtroopers
and with like
look
CG
awesome in
stuff
that
on
movie.
top of it. So I just don't understand why they're like favoring digital stuff more.
I enjoyed this movie. Anybody? Okay, what else? What else do you want to talk about
I was gonna say,
in the movie?
I think they did well with I think the comedy relief was funny at times, and I liked
No.
BB-8 a lot in the movie.
I like most of the comedy except for that first joke. Honestly, that first joke was just uncomfortable.
I think there's
I
too
hate the
much.
Porgs.
I think there's too much. I like the
I
Porgs.
liked the thing.
I think I'm fine
I
with
liked
the
them a
Porgs.
lot.
I think there was
Yeah,
too
they were
much.
fine.
I think there's too much of them.
And I loved it when Chewie freaked out about the one though. That was pretty funny. Where he just like raised his hands and screamed. That was good. I don't know though. I feel like he'd probably just kill him. But I feel like it did that well, which Star Wars at times does really poorly with like the random kiddie characters. So I think the Porgs are a lot better than the Ewoks. And they're a lot better than and BB-8 is obviously a lot better than like Jar Jar, and they're all better than Jar Jar.
Everything is better than Jar Jar.
But I also thought BB-8 was really charming in Episode 7 too. So I think they just do robot characters really well. And I thought
Well,
all
these
of
characters
his
that have any real discernible lines, they do great.
I thought his little scene where he's like trying to override the circuit, I thought that was really funny. And then he just like headbutts
Just put
it.
the whole fucking head in, man.
I honestly didn't like that because I've seen it in too many movies where they use that as like a funny thing where like the water's pouring through holes
And
and
you
they
gotta put
plug
your
it up,
fingers.
and then there's another one and then you like run out of fingers. Yeah, That's exactly
I think
what that was,
that's the
and
whole
I
point
was
of
like,
the joke, though, is that they use it all the time, and then they're using it.
I don't know.
So I think they did well with it, but I think they did it way too often. I still came out of the movie liking it, but the more I thought back on like specific things that I didn't like, the more I found myself not liking it. So initially, I was going to give it about a 3-star rating. I think now I'm teetering to maybe 2.5 to 3 stars, and that is it.
Wait, how much of that is Star Wars fan versus movie fan?
I'm not a fan of. I don't really care about Star Wars that much.
Oh, wow.
I think Lord of the Rings is about 10 times better, and I think Game of Thrones is about 15 times better. So
Fuck you, you're wrong.
so I mean, it's. I feel
Game
like
of Thrones more than Lord of the Rings.
I don't know. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
They're also different mediums, so you're going to get closer
I
to
did-
the character of Game of Thrones.
Well, I'm talking the whole universe, books and movies. So,
Maybe.
but it's kind of both, because I think the movie is overlong. I think it's clunky at times. I think the narrative is. I honestly now I don't know what's going to happen in Episode 9. I don't.
Good.
I thought I knew what was going to happen, and that is a good thing in a way, but I don't like where they went with this one necessarily, so I don't know if it's a good thing overall.
Well, it's because everything like I said, they're throwing everything about Star Wars out the window with this movie, and that's why the new one is going to be something completely unexpected. Leia also had a much bigger role in 9, apparently, from stuff that I've heard with the script. But since
Why
Carrie
do you
Fisher
read this
died,
stuff? If you don't want to be spoiled before you watch the
it
movie.
wasn't spoiler heavy. It was something else. They were talking about like it was something to do with Carrie Fisher's death and that having an effect on Star Wars. And apparently, she was going to have a big role, and now she won't. So.
Rekka asks about the writing of the movie. I don't think the writing
It's just
was
Rian Johnson. Is
I don't
the
think the
only
writing was
credited
that
writer.
great in the movie necessarily. Like some of the lines didn't really work for me. Some of the comedy obviously didn't work.
2 subplots that didn't fucking work at all.
And you know what? Here, I'm going to say one thing about Rogue One real quick. I can make Rogue One 10% better in about 5 seconds. It's with the scene where Vader is choking. What's his face? You go, don't choke, and then you just sit there for like 5 seconds as the helmet goes. On your aspirations. Half a star right there. I would have made that movie amazing. But yeah, I don't know. The writing wasn't bad necessarily, but it did feel a little weird. And Luke was kind of weird to me in the movie, honestly. But he was like a hermit forever, so I don't know. I do think it is a movie that's worth watching, and I think I probably will give it probably about 3 stars. I think I liked it.
What did you guys think of the midget space nuns?
But
I like those.
The midget space nuns?
I didn't have a problem with them.
Nice.
Apparently, Cameron did.
No, I just thought that it was funny that they made them wear the nun frock,
The only thing
the
that
nun headdress.
the only kind of thing that I thought was funny was when she cut that rock in half and it literally like destroyed the cart of the one nun, and she just kind of looks up at her like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, and they're just like, this chick is such a pain in the ass.
She blasted a hole in the fucking temple thing.
Just guys, just space nuns are a thing.
All right.
Just so you know.
Can I get your rankings? All right, does everybody have theirs? No one's going to change their mind based on someone else's.
All right, you can have mine first.
Okay.
All right,
I thought
we
about
got,
changing mine a little bit, but
we got
I'm-
Empire, Hope, Return.
Hold on. I got
Just
to
do them
write
in
these.
number numericals.
No.
Well, wait.
Empire, Hope, Return.
Why not?
Awakens,
Why do you like numerical?
Last
order?
Jedi, Sith, Clones, Menace.
Okay.
all right. So I'm going to do mine in the order of least favorite to favorite.
I'm gonna make
Hey,
this.
Cameron, how about you not?
Just go up the line and the opposite.
So
order.
favorite to least favorite.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. Cameron.
Okay, I'm going to go with favorite to least favorite. Return, Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then The Phantom Menace.
Cam.
Wait, you like Attack of the Clones more than Revenge of the Sith? Are you
I do.
insane?
I like the clone part.
Your favorite movie is
Schweiss, he put Return above Empire, which is wrong.
Okay. I got...
Yeah, it's
You're freaking me out here, Cameron.
Mine's very similar to Craig's.
I was going to say Cameron.
I got Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, Last Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace. Schweiss. You said you had it.
I'm going to go episode 5.
Don't do that. I'm writing down the
Empire.
first
All
line.
right, we'll
here.
go Empire, New Hope, Return of the Jedi, episode 7.
Awakens.
I'm going to go Last Jedi.
Okay.
Just barely eking out a gross film, which is Revenge of the Sith. And then I'm going to stick to my guns. Attack of the Clones is still better than that Phantom Menace, and then Phantom Menace at the bottom. The problem is when I watched all 3 of these last time, they're all gross, not great movies. So, this is a decent effort from from the folks at Disney. But I did tell you guys that it was better than episode 2 and 1, and it is. And I also think it's a little bit better than episode 3.
I am the only one who put one of the newer ones above one of the original trilogy.
I just can't. It's not because of nostalgia either. I only
Wow.
watched them like twice in my childhood.
You guys really think Return of the Jedi is better than... Well, I know Cameron definitely
Then
does.
Force Awakens, yes.
Force
Yeah, I
Awakens?
Yeah,
I do.
It's Force
Half
Awakens.
of Return of the Jedi doesn't work. Force Awakens works.
Yeah, Force
Yeah,
Awakens
but Rey
is
is
just
a really, really, really weak character, and there's a really beautiful emotional bit at the end of Return of the Jedi. that
Return ends
pretty much makes up for the
awesomely,
rest of the movie.
Well, it doesn't end awesome on Blu-ray.
The fight is incredible with Vader. That is...
He goes, no!
yeah,
well, yeah, that's
there's that.
bullshit, but it's such a payoff. And I don't know, it's like honestly, and I've seen a lot of people complain about this, and I think Void, the guy who does the Geek to Geek podcast, his partner, Beej, I saw him say that a lot of people complained that, he said a lot of the same people complained, which I think is inaccurate based on the Rotten Tomato scores, but a lot of the same people that complained about episode 7 being the same complained about episode 8 being so different. And I don't think it bothers me that it's different.
I would never complain that it was different.
I think
Yeah.
it is.
Except the film.
I think the movie is different, but I don't think it's different from... I think it's similar to Marvel movies is my problem. It's not... It's different than Star Wars, but it's different in a way that's similar to something else that I don't really like that much. To something else that I'm very lukewarm.
To be fair,
There was a lot that didn't feel like Star Wars in this movie.
And that's fine. That's one thing I hate. I hate when people are like, "Oh, Resident Evil 4 is one of the greatest games of all time, but it's a bad Resident Evil." I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've heard you ever say, because Resident Evil, it's just a series of games. If there is a great game, a great gem in a series of things, it doesn't have to be just like everything else to be part of that series. You just slap the name on it and it's automatically part of the series. It might not be a classic Resident Evil game, and this might not be a classic Star Wars, but that doesn't mean it can't be great in its own respect. I just don't think it is. I think it's too long. There's too much in it.
to be fair to Marvel movies and then to the new Star Wars, the original Star Wars brought back B movies and turned them into A movies. So B movie archetypes that Star Wars was dealing with did them well, sold a lot of money. It was a movie that was geared
Sold
towards
a lot of
kids.
money?
Sold a lot of tickets.
Laundered a lot of cash.
And that type of movie, that type of hero's journey movie where it was like part lighthearted, part dramatic, and mostly just a lot of fun. And the idea of the blockbuster came basically from Star Wars itself. So Marvel is actually in a big string of movies that has been created because of Star Wars and Rocky and Jaws. So it's actually kind of continuing. It's not something new necessarily.
No, I know, but they have a very distinct style, and I feel like this Star Wars movie felt like one of their movies.
It's odd though that Rian Johnson's the only credited writer. It doesn't mean there's not other writers on this movie. He's the only credited writer. It's Rian Johnson, the guy who directed Night. I don't think he's ever worked on a Marvel movie. So that's interesting. I don't know what happened behind the scenes as far as like that. Maybe that's his type of humor that he likes too.
Do you guys feel like that's the case though, or am I like crazy here?
The only time it felt like Marvel to me was the very end and the very beginning. That's the only times when it was like
Those were the
Overtly
moments
Marvel.
where it was like screaming that it was Marvel
the rest
more
of
than
it,
Star Wars.
the rest of it felt like it didn't feel like Marvel to me necessarily. Not more than any other summer big hero movie does. So, not that this is summer. In my IMO, bro.
IMO.
yeah.
Okay, it looks like Empire ranks highest on most of ours, except for Cameron's.
Return of the Jedi, baby. It's the one I've seen the most, too.
New Hope is probably next, and then Return. Bastards. And then Force Awakens is generally fourth place. Except for Cameron has Last Jedi above Force Awakens. Why?
I enjoyed it more.
Okay. All right.
It was its own. At least it was more original.
Yeah.
And
say.
all three of us but Cameron put Sith Clones Menace. But Cameron thought Attack of the Clones was
I
better than
really
Revenge of
liked the
Sith.
clone fight scene. What can I say?
See, I don't think the fight scene is nearly as good as the fight scene in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
That
no
was
way.
a third of the movie. There's no fight scene in Star Wars that is better,
Hey, I might-
technically,
I might
than
revisit-
Revenge of the Sith.
I might revisit it later. I might. Who knows?
That fight scene is like 25 minutes long. Now, you can argue that there's some stupid shit in that fight scene, and I will not disagree with you.
You know,
But
all
as
we're
far as, like,
comparing with the trilogy, the prequels. All we're comparing is what piece of shit smells the least compared to the other two pieces
I don't
of
think
shit.
Sith is a piece of shit. I think Sith is
Sith
is the
I kind of think it's
Sith
sort of
to me is half and half. I'll be honest. I think half of Sith is it works, and then the other half doesn't work, and it's just messy. But I don't think Sith doesn't work. Completely. I think there's actually some good stuff in Sith. I can't say the same thing about Clone and Phantom. Phantom has a really good soundtrack underneath a pretty good sword fight that probably lasts in total about 4 minutes, but is cut up with a kid going and fighting some star ship.
yeah.
So I can't say that sequence is great. I can say that the small moments in Phantom Menace when it goes back to those are great. Now, and then I also think Anakin physically slaughtering the villagers in the second movie is a pretty great scene.
It is.
ruined by dialogue, but yes. The scene
Now,
is great.
Revenge of the Sith, I think there's a lot more in Revenge of the Sith as far as what's good than there are in the other two movies. I cannot.
Turn against me.
I now we all make fun of those
that,
lines.
like-
I don't think it's horrible.
the mariachi thing from the meme I found, where like Obi-Wan's coming off the ship with the big sombrero and like the shaker things. He's like, "You turned her against me."
Yeah,
Hilarious.
I don't know. I still walk away from Revenge of the Sith going, I enjoyed my time.
Good.
I always say, well,
for
I'm
you.
glad that's over. And we pop in for
Time to start the good
My
ones.
roommate just bought the entire Star Wars bundle besides these two new ones. And we decided to start it in chronological order. So as you guys were watching this movie, I was watching Phantom Menace.
Oh, it's horrible.
And I fell asleep for a good portion of the movie.
Oh, you didn't miss
Just-
anything.
I know. I've watched this
Since
movie.
you've seen it before, yeah.
Man, Phantom Menace is such a clunker. Oh, that's a terrible movie.
Yeah, you don't want to hear about space
Oh, you know what?
politics for like most of
Probably
the movie.
where you fell asleep. I thought the pod
Mean
race.
nothing.
Pod race, if it was about
I
5
fell
minutes
asleep
shorter, would
right
be
after
pretty
the
good.
pod race.
Okay.
So right after the pod race, I went.
yeah, the pod
Yeah.
race was pretty hype when I was
And then
a
I
kid.
woke up when I
But it is
when I
too
messaged
long.
you as, "Hey guys, I'm on my way now." That's when I woke up.
Maybe we should all just watch them again,
Yeah.
like we did the last time one came out.
Yeah, we just didn't have time this year.
No,
It sucks.
no time, man. So
We'll have to do it for 9.
I don't know. I like Return of the Jedi.
We've got 8 movies to watch for 9.
But then we got to decide where we would put Rogue One in the mix.
Rogue One is below Awakens.
I think
You think so?
Rogue
Yep.
One for me. I think I had a better time at Rogue One than I did The Last Jedi. I think I would put it right below Return of the Jedi. Rogue One.
So it's 4 for
Darth
you?
Maul fight was the only
Yeah.
redeeming part of Phantom Menace.
That was one of the best fights in the entire series.
But once again,
In a shitty movie.
you forget about the cut up part where the kid goes, "This is tense," as he's flying around. That's in the same scene. It cuts back and forth between
Yeah.
the two. You don't get that much time.
Yeah, you don't
with
get the
Darth Maul.
The Maul fight isn't by itself.
There's more
It's cut
Maul
up by
fight in your
garbage.
head than there is in the movie itself.
Yeah, it's because like everybody puts the Maul fight together when they remember it. and
But
it's
then-
one sequence
oh,
of
you-
awesome.
You forget that it's spread.
But then you forget the 5 minutes at a time with Anakin flying around and
Yeah.
I would
useless
also.
fight.
I think I would put Rogue One up there too.
Yeah.
I think it's better than.
Although I don't
Force
think Rogue
Awakens.
One is perfect either.
No, it isn't.
I left Rogue One going.
Rogue One is
Isn't quite as good as Force.
Rogue One was clearly edited.
Clearly edited.
Yeah, I think it was going to be a darker movie, and they've talked about that. They've been like,
Oh, okay.
where Disney made it.
I
Like,
totally think it should have been.
I think it should have been too. It was pretty dark though, because everybody dies at the end.
I
Spoilers
do
for
like
that.
that. I honestly enjoy that a lot.
You know what it is for me too, from a film perspective. J.J. Abrams is a much better director than Rian Johnson was, as
Yes.
far as like his placement of camera, his placement of actors, his movement of camera.
He's way better
and
at
how
lens
things
flare.
and how things
I didn't see a single one.
how things sort of react to the drama of what's going on.
Yeah.
He's much more clear with his blocking. Rian Johnson is not a mature enough filmmaker for this franchise,
Well, it's crazy
in my
because
opinion. I don't think he did bad.
the guy who directed
just-
5, he's only done like
You're following J.J. Abrams, and it's rough. Gareth Edwards, though, is a wonderkind. That guy is.
he only
crazy.
did like a few movies though.
He did Godzilla, though. I don't think Rian Johnson's ever done anything this big before. That guy did Godzilla before Star Wars. So that's like a $200 million movie that he is in charge of, sort of a thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah.
That is true though. 7 has a very different. It kind of has a very different look than 8 did, and it's almost odd to come from that and go to this.
J.J.
Well, that's-
Abrams,
7 tried to be as close to the originals as possible while still like updating a lot of things. So
yeah, J.J. also, I think they intentionally tried to make it fit visually the original 3. So I think
and
there
then
was
8 didn't care about that as much.
8. No, I think 8 threw that away. So maybe it wasn't necessarily Rian Johnson's fault. I think maybe they were intentionally just saying, do your thing so that we can have whoever we want be in charge of these movies. Because JJ already did it. I'm glad JJ's coming back for number 9.
Oh, he is going to direct.
He
number 9,
is.
isn't he? Who was it before? Did they not have a name?
They didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
But JJ Abrams is coming back for number 9.
They watched 8 and they were like, "Hey,
I'm
buddy,
happy with that.
we kind of want this one to look sort of like that other one you
Here
did."
comes Abrams to fix it again.
Dude, he does fix franchises. That's like his job. It's crazy.
It is,
And
yeah.
it's not just Star Trek and Star Wars. He fixed Mission Impossible. If anybody forgot that. Mission Impossible 2 was horrible.
There's that,
And he came in and like, oh, Mission Impossible 3 is like this glorious, beautiful movie.
There's that South Park episode with like the member berries and like J.J. Abrams is like the only one who can reboot the national anthem.
I believe in JJ. Of course, everybody hates that second Star Trek except for me. I fucking loved that movie.
That movie is great. All right?
And
I
Star
love
Trek
the way that
fans
I love.
fucking hate
I don't
it.
know why.
I don't know. It's a great
better
movie.
than Wrath of Khan. Fuck y'all. Wrath of Khan is okay, but this movie mirrors it greatly and does it better.
I've seen about half of it.
Wrath of Khan or
No,
the
the new
new
one.
one? Okay.
Star
Well,
Trek Into
new.
Darkness.
Yeah, I saw the ending half. It was pretty good. Yeah, I liked what I saw.
It was really enjoyable. We watched it in IMAX. It was just a really exciting, great movie. Something like
There
Last
was a
Jedi
credit
should have been.
gotcha. There was a credit gotcha where like he was like, it cost me dearly, and then he lives. I'm like, oh, yeah. But then I was thinking like, how could he be dead? So I don't know. Spock
Anyway.
lied to me.
I was.
Spock doesn't lie.
I
to
like
you.
this movie, though I am kind of underwhelmed by it. I'll have to watch it again, though. Maybe it'll be better on a second watch.
I thought it was okay, but
Well, we're going to. We have Movie Pass. So.
Going every day, right?
Yeah, every day. I think I am going to go
Still
see...
need to see Justice League.
Oh, shit.
yeah, you should watch that so we can have another one of these episodes where I just get angry.
Just want to go right now.
You guys could.
I don't really want to
Caleb
see it
doesn't
again.
wanna watch it.
Does anybody want to see Justice League again?
Not really.
Cam's checking times. Like, oh, fucking see
I
it again.
would let you use my Movie Pass, Cameron, technically.
You could.
You,
I just
If we all go, I will go and see it again, but I don't want to.
I don't think that's a bad proposition, but I'll mix the episode first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we talked about it for an hour and a half. Is that enough for you?
I think so. I think
Okay.
we've given our
Just the
thoughts.
Star Wars section of this.
I honestly, like I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed it to some extent. We've all voiced our problems with the movie. It's obviously not perfect. Our rankings are very similar, even though we all had various levels of distaste towards the various things that this movie gave us. But like I said, I have no idea. I have no idea where Episode 9 is going to go. So that is an interesting feeling. Like, I guess we didn't know where 7 was going to go.
It's not going to mirror Empire. Like this one, I thought was going to mirror, and it did in some ways, but
it also mirrored
it's gonna do that anyway.
Return and
Yeah.
New Hope a lot too. So it was like a mixture.
it seemed like this could have just been the end.
This
Like,
is kind of like, it almost felt like fan fiction of Star Wars in a way.
Yeah.
This was like a fan book.
No.
That's what this ending was.
Well, here's the thing: the writers on the last one were JJ and Lawrence Kasdan. Lawrence Kasdan wrote Empire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So
Hey, it
those
should've been-
were. I mean, one of them was a fan, but
Lawrence
one of
was
them
a big fan
one
of
of them
Episode
was
4.
one of the original writers. He also wrote, I think, Raiders of the Lost Ark as well.
Oh, okay.
Big time writer.
Hanging out with them. Just a little-
this
He
one
should be on 9.
This one, the only credit was written and directed by Ryan Johnson. That was it. And no hate, Ryan. Look, you did a good job.
yeah, it's fine. The writing and the directing are both just not as good as last time's. But they are better than the prequels, and those were made by
Yes.
the guy who did it.
Yep, totally right.
So
Totally right.
Take that as you will.
By
I mean.
influential filmmaker who made American Graffiti and the original Star Wars, couldn't do shit with the prequels. So
Yeah, exactly. The writing is so bad. You have done
hate
that
sand.
yourself. That one doesn't hurt as much because Hayden Christensen did it, but for you and McGregor to say that, it's just so cheesy.
you have done that yourself.
Only Sith deal in absolutes.
It sounds like he's like on the brink of laughing. at
Turn her
it.
against me.
You have done that yourself.
It's not even cool. The delivery is not even good. It's just
It's a Alec Guinness impersonation right there.
yeah. It should have been. I don't know, man.
I don't think it's as bad as we make fun of it for.
Yeah, maybe.
The high
not.
ground thing is really dumb.
Don't try it.
Hey, remember that thing that we didn't set up at all about Jedis not being able to fight other Jedis when one is on high ground?
Ha! No, you don't, but I do.
There was a similar thing in one of the James Bond movies. It was in The World Is Not Enough, which is not a good movie. The Last Jedi is a better movie than that. By the way.
Well, yeah.
World Is Not Enough. Q talks to Bond and he goes, "Remember what I've always taught you. Never let them see you bleed." I was going back in my mind. I was like, he has never fucking said that this entire
I just
series.
watched every single movie.
I just watched all the James Bond movies in a row, and Q never said, "Never let them see you bleed," up until this point. Never let them see you bleed, and always have an escape plan. Q, you never said that ever.
then he pushes him out of a plane. And he's like, wait, what?
Never let them see you bleed. God. It is that bad. It is that bad, guys. I remember what I've always taught you. I mean, I've been in every single movie since Dr. No, but I'm going to tell you that I've always told you something that I never, ever fucking told you.
You senile old bastard.
Maybe I was remembering a different Bond.
Never let them see you bleed. Gosh. All right. I'll talk about James Bond next time. All right. I think that's good. Go to Twitter, vote on the games, guys. You can tweet me at Joseph DeGollier.
Me at Obsidian Bar.
Me and Nude Clan Cam.
Me at UFF Podcast.
You can check out our forum at nudeclan.net. And please, give us some questions.
Yeah.
And,
buy your goods through the Amazon link. We get a small kickback. Christmas is coming, guys. Why not get it online? Why not make us postal employees work our asses off?
Also, I got some new blog posts if you care about those, about my goals for 2018.
Make sure you order a lot
Some
of
people do.
Chewy boxes
I've
for
gotten
Joe.
a lot of responses on those things for those last two. Anyway, we'll see you next time.
Enjoy the nude.
May the list go on.
Live always in the nude.
May the force be with you.